We were talking about the Squid Games there.
Yeah, Sean was telling me about
Mr. Beast
No,
games,
the
sorry.
the Beast games.
Yeah. I just realized.
I haven't seen it. I got to find the chat to get into it. I realized we were sort of just chatting away.
It's a good one.
And then this guy's talking about Max is married. I'm like, what?
No, but
Max
you didn't give the precursor.
What's so weird about this is, like, obviously for those of you that don't know, Max traded on the floor here.
Yeah, here he
on
is.
the show, and there was a moment when these guys are talking about Max getting married. Sean and I were literally just discussing a former trader that I found out over the weekend, over the holidays, who got married. Like, he was former manager on the floor. So it was just like this weird, sometimes the world feels like a simulation moment.
That guy was a manager. That's hilarious.
Yeah, like he was, how long was he manager?
The trials and tribulations.
No, before Brank. No, this was like years and years ago.
We never mentioned him on the show. He actually...
No, because he preceded the show.
But remember...
Didn't he? Or wait a minute.
There was a couple times, but he wanted to go with an alias and all that.
Oh, no, I'm wrong.
He's too famous
Before
for the
we
show.
came to YouTube and it was an internal show, he did host when it was an internal show. That's what it was, but he didn't want to go on in his own name.
There was something like that.
Yeah, okay. I got to find the chat.
This is not my real name either, so... It's all good. You know what I'm saying?
Well, I mean, you don't want to let those.
You
don't want to let everyone know.
You
got to keep that on the down low, man. I try. It's hard for me not to slip and give up what your real name is, Sean.
Yeah, Deshaun.
Deshaun?
Yeah.
Is that your? Yeah, I won't even go there.
It's like B. Aaron. Like my kid's name is Baron, so it's B. Aaron. That's one of the best skits of all time. The Key and Peele. Honestly, it doesn't. It's not even like. It's just like if you have some kind of a sense of humor and just. I wish I knew what it was called, and I wish I could show it. I'm not talking to...
No, it's a substitute teacher.
Oh, it's just called substitute teacher. Okay, so Google that. I believe there's 2 of them, maybe.
They do multiple. No, there's more than
maybe even
2.
3.
Yo,
yeah, D-Nice. Like, yeah, the girl's name is Denise, and it's just like, yo, man, who you playing? Balake? Yeah, that's Blake, right? Yeah.
What's so crazy about those
what the hell are we doing?
You got to go back and watch, and we'll get to like some stocks in a quick second. You have to go back and see what they did on the original Mad TV. Like, Key and Peele, like, you could see, and anybody, if you watched Mad TV, you knew. You knew these two, they had it. Like, they were clearly, like, 2 of the best cast members, Orlando Jones.
I think, what's his name, Peele or whatever, whoever's done those movies, they made a lot of...
Oh, dude, he can...
That guy killed.
He's a fantastic director. I think if you watch any of his horror films, which is weird, because he's a really good horror director. So we're not in...
I didn't look at the last one. What was the last horror movie? Don't Look Up? No.
No, it was Nope.
Yeah, Leslie Nope.
If you haven't seen Nope, that's a really good one. So let's get to the market.
Have you seen it before?
Dude, I've seen every single. Yeah, I've seen.
Ask me if I've seen it.
Have you seen it?
Nope.
Okay. I'm laughing at it, Ramin. It doesn't matter.
Who is that,
if
Ramin?
Laughs at it. I'm laughing at it.
Set your own joke up, and then just get a fail right there. It's like my kids. My kids are always like, try to be funny, and it's just like, Dad, it's not funny. But my wife was like, it's kind of funny.
There was a moment when, I wish I remember some of these, but I was at my in-laws. We did like our Christmas with my family my parents on Christmas, and then the weekend, and over the weekend, we went up north to hang out with the in-laws. And you can't make this up. My father-in-law, like after dinner, he gets out a book, and everyone's just sort of chilling out, having drinks, and he's literally reading a book of dad jokes.
Yeah, I have a book of dad jokes.
And we just sat there, and like none of them were funny, and he was just doing it for a half an hour, and it was very amusing.
That's the point of dad jokes. No, they're really not that funny.
Well, I
have a book of dad jokes too. Actually, I have
a Star Wars one
that
I should bring in.
Yeah.
I don't know. Anyways, I said we get to the market.
I mean, you wouldn't think I have a book of jokes because these jokes that I keep throwing down are really bad.
I thought that last one was funny, the Nope joke.
It's not even a joke. That was just like
seen it. No.
Yeah, that was just like a off-the-cuff joke. Like, that's not even a joke. That's just like a real-time, reactive.
No, but there's a punchline, there's a setup.
Yeah, I guess it plays as a joke, but a joke's more like knock knock. Like I don't have anything, so don't say who's there. But
I don't know any knock.
All right. Knock, knock, who's there? Oh, yeah, we're working January 9th. How about that?
Are we going to tell them what's up, or we...
I don't know. I mean, does it look like I'm doing whatever I want to do?
No, we're working on a stream for you guys. I know the market's not open in observance of the passing of former President Jimmy Carter on the 9th, so it's next Thursday, a week from today. And so we're coming up, Brennan came up with an idea, and we're going to try and go with a bit of a top trade ideas 2025, and then we'll do a little Q&A action. So I think the idea is to come on about 9 o'clock.
Yeah.
We'll go.
Really? 9 o'clock.
I don't know if we have like maybe there isn't a specific time. I don't know, but it's something along those lines. We'll take questions. It doesn't have to be 9. I just threw out 9 because I think Brendan said 9.
I think, was it quarter after 9? Was it just, no.
Yeah, whatever.
We'll get it all figured out. But the idea is to, get some engagement, be here, have some fun.
Exactly.
Half day sounds good. Maybe end 11 o'clock. I'm not sure what we're going to do. We'll figure it all out.
I have to reschedule.
Just out event video right now as it finally goes through the top. But okay, let's go over to Sharif. So we'll probably get to NVIDIA at some point, but there it is going through the top. So, all right, Sharif, drop hotlines.
Welcome to the Afternoon Rundown, everyone, the show where you decide what we talk about every afternoon. The big boys are in the house, are locked and loaded, ready to look at the tickers as decided by you. So make sure to join Joe and I during the How to Trade show during the midday and get into the chat and vote for your favorite tickers every day. But it's a subs-only chat, so you got to be liking, you got to be subscribing, and make sure to join us every day during the midday. All right, guys, let's have a look at the triple Qs over here, down 0.56 off the lows. It's the same look for the ES, also down on the day, about half a percentage point, with the other major averages down as well. Keep an eye out on that. Let's look at the first ticker, though, as decided by you. TSLA, Tesla having itself a tough day, 6% in the red right now, and that's not even as low as we went. Tumbling on Q4 deliveries that missed all expectations, whether it was analyst expectations or Tesla's guide for Q4. It missed and was below 500,000 vehicles. It produced about 459,000 and it delivered 495,000. So some leftover inventory from the previous quarter. So a bit of a tougher look, guys, on Tesla on the day, down 6%.
Guys.
A tale of
guys.
Gentlemen.
Oh, man.
It's funny, no one ever calls us gentlemen. It's always like the guys, the big kahunas, the boys.
Big kahunas, yeah, that's right. Well, that's
which is weird. Like, we never.
Big kahuna.
The only reason that I actually don't mind the big kahunas.
Short Google.
Google's not looking too good. Tesla's back at 380, by the way. Tesla, if it gets to VWAP again, is going to be a short. I think there's a vast difference between the pre-market and the open, and then the middle of the day. So in the pre-market, it was just short the pop, and then you had the flush into the open. But then on the way back up, it was bamboozlement on Tesla. Look, obviously the delivery numbers aren't good. I think this puts them in a little bit of a temporary penalty box here for Tesla. Down 6%. Down 6%. I'm smelling pastries. Anyways, if it gets to VWAP, I want to short VWAP again. We had the 384 just at lunchtime.
I only see a Dara back there.
Market good.
Pastries.
VWAP good. You don't smell that? So Ramin just said she opened a Beaver Tails box and then says there's no way I could be smelling that.
I mean, that's obviously exactly what
Beaver Tails are a Canadian delicacy. So I think 380 looks like a little bit of a level here.
The guy goes, I can smell pastry, and we have like the finest pastries over there.
Beaver Tails are, if you've never had it, if you come to Ontario.
It's crazy.
It's like the one thing. I don't know, there's not really Canadian foods, but for desserts it's Beaver Tails.
Poutine.
It's poutine and Beaver Tails.
Right, you nailed it.
And then maple syrup.
Maybe some ribs, I don't know.
Well, I mean, ribs are everywhere.
Like moose, something, moose meat.
Anyways, I'll short Tesla VWAP.
You can use, moose. Yeah, there is. Okay, so just real quickly here. We've just got, let's go a new position, just real quick here. It's like I smell pastries, and she's over there like with this beaver tail. I don't smell it. I don't smell, but I think maybe you're more the wafting.
Unless it's something else.
Okay, quickly here, Tesla. We'll just look. I was talking about this with Randy. We were all sort of on Tesla at the beginning of the day here. I think it was a no-brainer that you at least looked at it and tried to trade it, right? The deliveries were coming. We knew they were coming through. The problem with me today was this level right there. Like, just being stubborn with it. Like, despite knowing that deliveries were coming and despite all of that, we were still like, oh, let's see if it holds Friday's low, So there it is, right into the close. And no workout, and just kept on going. And you can see here, if we zoom in a little bit now and just take a look at that candle, we go there. Tesla numbers come out there at 9 o'clock, and it goes from 410. This is 1 minute, it loses $7. The very next minute, we go from 404 down to 394. That's $10 in that next minute. 404 down to 394. That's $10 in that next minute. 404 down to 394. That's $10 in that next minute. 404 down to 394. That's $10 in that next minute. 404 down to 394. That's $10 in that next minute. 404 down to 394. That's $10 in that next minute. 404 down to 394. That's $10 in that next minute. 404 down to 394. That's $10 in that next minute. 404 down to 394. That's $10 in that next minute. 404 down to 394. That's $10 in that next minute. 404 down to 394. That's $10 in that next minute. 404 down to 394. That's $10 in that next minute. 404 down to 394. That's $10 in that next minute. 404 down to 394. That's $10 in that next minute. 404 down to 394. That's $10 in that next minute. 404 down to 394. That's $10 in that next minute. 404 down to 394. That's $10 in Okay, $10 in that next minute, and then that following minute after that, or 2 more minutes later, you're back down to $3.84 and change. So it does become a little bit of a disaster story there for Tesla. We're able to make some back, not all of it back, because this hit was just too fast, too quick. Like by the time we were able to make it down. Anyways, we did have a pretty big winner there. There was at one point over $20 in the money. It does bounce back. We got in and out once we took VWAP. And since then, VWAP's been king. It came back there, held it, and held it again. So I think if you're going to go short, you want to wait for 384 and change. But Tesla down 6%. I look at it and think it's a buying opportunity, to be honest with you. But I'd rather see it. Yeah, if the market loses steam again tomorrow, they probably come hunting for Tesla again. So I could see like 360 as maybe a buying area, but that's actually, it's not too far away now, actually, down here at 360. So we'll actually put Google back into our pipe here. Nice move downside. Watch out for this move. All right, let's go over Apple. Big enough tech. We could talk about Google and Apple, so let's go see the story there. But Tesla, good trade today.
Another one here, Sean, that's really bleeding at lows right now. Apple down over 3%. That is a big move for Apple. Don't get it twisted. 242 and a third right now. Shares trading lower after the company announced discounts of around 500 yuan. This is in China specifically for the 16 Pro and 16 Pro Max. The 16 model, as well as some others, the 14 and the 15, also qualify for a discount. A little bit less though, guys, at around 400 yuan. Just to give you some context, 500 yuan, around $70 US.
I mean, decent discounts, no questions asked. I mean, the market, look, man, price doesn't lie, so it doesn't matter what we might think about this news. Because I know when I sat down today, I was like, I don't think this is that big of a deal. It was a late reaction because this was out obviously very early and nothing happened, and all of a sudden, technically, we broke down well before the open. This is actually before Tesla he'd even done the delivery number thing. So you had this early move down, and it was just continuation after continuation. My response to this was I just stayed away from Apple because my gut was telling, I kind of felt like this wasn't going to be that big of a deal, and I was pretty bullish on this to start the year. So I just backed away from it because it didn't make a lot of sense. That said, I like the 50-period moving average on stocks. And this is lining up for, we'll probably see this, I guess, maybe this week or next week. It's already Thursday. Look at this triple top on Apple. Like 237.5, 230. It's not really a triple top because technically speaking, it didn't really bottom out here. But this VWAP, this a 50-period moving average corresponds with the double top that you had in 2024 that broke out late. So I think this is an obvious buy zone if we get underneath 240 on Apple right down here at 237, 238. I don't know that we see that here today, but the market just... Actually weird. The market just bounced a little bit. I'm only in Unity short, which at some point we'll go over. But BTC next. Apple, I'm probably gonna be on that bid if we get there tomorrow or next week at that 238 area.
And we interrupted before when we were talking about NVIDIA to talk about Apple and talking about Google. So there's Google. Nice little win here as it's starting to go. I still have Rigetti and Google. Those are the only two plays. Thank you so much, Jarhead, and one of the original traders when we used to have guest traders on. So here is this for you. We did have the Hydration Nation. I just had it up and I missed it. There it is. So he says HNY. So Happy New Year, my old friends. Not a stock. Hope it is an incredible, prosperous year for you and your entire TTL community. So yeah, thanks, Jarhead, for everybody, from us to you. Thank you so much, and Happy New Year back at that Hydration Nation. Fruit salad and gains. 4 days. Oh, here, you want to, those of you that have never seen this before, there is your fruit salad animation. All right, so yeah, well, there's some fruit salad hanging around here right now. Look at this Google move. Good job to the downside as it hits the 200 period, and we just sit there and say, okay. All right, so for Apple, yeah, I agree with Neil. I had not looked at Apple yet today. What? Okay. 242 and change. Ay, caramba. We're starting to watch The Simpsons with my kids now, and it's just like, they don't know they don't know Bartman. Like, they don't do that anymore. There's no Simpsons. Like, they don't know that whole craze that there was. Like, they don't know the Eat My Shorts.
She won't watch it. It's like...
Yeah, it's all right. Like, my kids are older, but it's just like... Yeah. Marissa said to Barron's, like, Eat My Shorts or something like that. And he's just like, what the? Like, what's up with that? And we watched this Simpsons.
AO, 24 away.
The countdown. That's like the Squid Game number, like, and then you say, all right, is that enough money to quit the quit the game, you know?
If I have you know what, I just started watching Squid Game, well, the second one, season 2, I should say. Takes them too long to get into it. So
who's going to hit the thing to 490?
Here's the thing. We got to get it to 490. I think that's reasonably doable this afternoon. I mean,
doable this afternoon. I think it's doable in 3 minutes.
Do this.
What time is it now? 2:16?
It only takes 24, and we hit that 490 number. Of course, we'll do a little celebration. Thank you guys so much for all the support. Like,
I feel like that's not updating live.
I think when we started this in 2020 during COVID, like I don't think necessarily we realized how quickly it was going to grow. But that's all thanks to the fantastic community that we have.
Yeah, I thought it'd go faster, but
pat yourselves on the back.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you so much, everybody. Did we just get it? Oh no. Okay.
No.
Okay, I was just playing around. Okay.
You should put it in the corner somewhere.
Google just took some more out there in the 60s. Okay, now I'm going to be obsessed with that. So let's go, man. I mean, you guys got to hit that. Anybody watching? I mean, how many people are even watching right now? Let me pull this down. Right here it is right now. 400. 81. All right, 4,276 watching right now, 82. What did I just see right there? Well, I think it went the other. There it is, 472. I forgot to hit the like button. All right, hit the like button as well, like I just did on purpose to demonstrate to you guys there. All right, so 1981. So we'll get that going. 19 more, Neil.
Well, I know it's don't be that person because what. I'm going to hold
I know a way to get it up there. If we throw it to Sharif, the likes are probably going to go crazy. So let's do that right now, and then we'll see.
Put me on the spot there, Sean. All right, guys, maybe this good news will help move the needle. Bitcoin at day's high, breaking through 97,500. Good recovery for a Bitcoin, completely trading counter to the overall market. So keep your eye on that if you're looking for strength. Bitcoin strong right now. And IBIT also up 4 2/3. And listen to this, guys. BlackRock's ETF, which debuted last year, has become the most successful exchange-traded fund launch in history, with quite a bit of money coming into this one. So IBIT, BlackRock, ETF up 4 2/3.
Yeah, I mean, I guess if you consider, like, well, I guess they're just measuring that by like dollar volume. But whatever. I think you should have like some kind of metric of like the performance is going to matter relative to the volume, and then consider how long like the underlying has been around, right? Like I think it's a very unique situation, the ETS for Bitcoin versus some of the other ones. So like it's probably not an apples to apples comparison. But I think there's a comparison that is also not apples to apples right now, and that is MicroStrategy to Bitcoin. Because once again, here we are, double top, high of the day, Bitcoin looking like it wants to break back out. Can we please just get to 100,000 already? So we don't have to keep talking about 100,000, and we can start talking about like more exciting numbers, like 120, 124.69, like things like that. But instead, we're just dealing with this 100,000 level. But the problem is, for MSTR, it's at the low of the day. So I had this for a flat bottom break at 300. It went down to 298 and then did not hold. Like in the moment that I took it, it probably wasn't the moment that 300 was going to be any good, but it's still stair-step down on MSTR. I know it's up 2%, but that's it's very deceptive. There's still very much...
Oh, I got to get the low taper.
There's just very much a wall on this every time it gets to the upside. So you got to be careful. Like not all of these crypto adjacent names are going to be the same. When you're double topping on Bitcoin like this, and this is why I would say just buy Bitcoin. It's a lot safer. Like Coinbase, does this look good to anybody? Like, does this instill confidence in that relationship that this is consolidating off the bottom? Like, these are all vastly different in trading by themselves. And you've got to notice when the correlations are, when they're moving together or when they're moving apart. And right now, it's a Bitcoin story. Mara is at its lows of the day here. Like, if you're trading these proxies, like, I'm glad I'm not long any of these proxies trying to take advantage of the move up in Bitcoin. Just buy IBIT or whatever ETF or Bitcoin if you want to play on the long days. And on the days that it's weak, I think you want to short these names. So if Mara looks bad, it's up 2%, but like, come on, you're at the low of the day right now. That's pretty nasty. I'd see a trade in this if it was actually doing anything. Maybe there's like a short into these highs of like 17.3, especially if we don't break out that top on Bitcoin. But yeah, for longs, you should just be trading Bitcoin itself.
Yeah, I was, so I recently, last night I did buy some more Dogecoin and some more Cardano. I don't know how to show this without the Happy New Year messages here, but thank you so much. Here's pictures. We're at Wonderland, I think, in front of one of the big trees. I can't really see anything Wonderland, but I'm trying to get a picture. Okay, the video, okay, my wife's gonna send it to me. Low taper fades. This is Bear and this is Gia right there, and this is me, but I'm gonna show a picture of that low taper fade. We talked about that. He finally wound up getting his haircut, so Happy New Year to everybody. That's from my family to yours, and of course, my wife taking the picture. But you can go over on Instagram and see that. 125 likes. Thanks for all of that. Maybe I can find, I wanted to show you guys something else, a picture here. This was, I think this is a throwback Thursday. Yeah, this is a throwback Thursday of Neil and I, way back in the day. This one got a couple of good likes as well. I mean, we look similar, a little more hair and everything, but other than that, throwback to 5 years ago. Okay.
I don't have any great, oh my God.
Things were a little bit more simpler back then, but pretty much the exact same.
Well, that's not 5 years.
That's what it says here. Throwback to 5 years ago. I don't know. Huh? When did we post that? 2019? Does that make any sense? No, that doesn't make
No,
sense.
because 2020 would have been during, like, we started during COVID in 2020, and we would have, I think we had that stupid, didn't we have a shield or some stupid nonsense, and then you had to sit over there, we couldn't sit next to each other when we started on YouTube.
Yeah.
Something like that, I don't know, whatever. It was actually, I would sit here, and Sean was over at another 20 feet away. Weird.
364 likes? I get, you know, what does this one have? Oh yeah, this one's a good one. Green Bay Packers, oh yeah. Starbucks, we'll have to look at some Starbucks. Okay, it's a trading show. All right, Bitcoin. Yeah, look, let's just move on to SoFi here, and then we'll get to Uber, and then we'll talk more about Bitcoin. I mean, I like the run it's on. I think we're headed to 100,000 before we get to 90 again. So starting to break higher, trying to break through some support. We talked about 97.3. We're taking that out right now. I think 97 is a nice hold. Let's see if Bitcoin can get higher.
All right, guys, SoFi, another name that's really bleeding down 8.5% today on the back of a KBW downgrade from market perform to underperform, basically saying that 2024 was a fantastic year for SoFi, but they believe now this stock is richly valued, boys, down 8.5%.
Yeah, SoFi, you know what? The good news for SoFi is it made a pretty solid SSR bounce, meaning, you know, you go down 10 points. 10%. I think it got pretty much exactly down there and then did a mean reversion, which looks like it's heading into VWAP. Obviously I'm not a huge fan of this move, being a shareholder of SoFi, but at least this time I said I was taking profit at this level because the last time it made a bounce like this, I took nothing out like an idiot. So this time we did. The good news, you just bounced off the 50-period moving average. Now, this is not the same as Apple at the 50-period moving average or Meta at the 50-period moving average, where generally speaking, if I haven't recently bought and I'm looking to buy, I am automatically buying a stock like that. SoFi does not fit into that category for me. But for a trade here for the next couple of days, if it holds on to this December low at 14 and keeps bouncing off the 50-period, then I'd look for maybe a long continuation, presuming it closes above $14 today, which we're a long ways away. By the way, Rigetti just made a bit of a
I got it VWAP
still, there. I'm in at VWAP. I know you're in from earlier. I got in at 17s, or just adjacent to 17 off VWAP, and we are now 3 away. Who is going to be the lucky 490,000th
oh my God,
subscriber?
This is so stressful. Someone's going to do it. Who's going to be the lucky one? Wish we had something to give away, but we do not. Yeah, what's up,
Our
Adam?
undying gratitude.
Here we have undying gratitude. This is Adam Deleuze. I saw him in the chat. He's like, yo, gotta show my picture. All right, this looks fake back in here, but it was such a great day. Like, when's the last time sun was out in London? I don't know. I mean, Adam can tell you, but there it was, gorgeous, overlooking the river. He picked a great spot there at an opera house. It was absolutely fantastic. So thanks, Adam, for all of that. Look at this thing over here. Oh, my Kevin O'Leary. Oh, yeah, baseball. Okay, so let's go back. All right, so just real quickly here. We just reloaded some Google and got some out as it did come back upside there. And then we were able to get something at the 200 period and now out again at O's or 01. So that was pretty good little 20-cent trade there, but we are still stuck short. So this could blow up basically in our face as the market trying to go upside. I did put a stop, and I just want to go over it with you guys. Yeah, breaking 30s, basically. That's the 200 period, and this kind of a top level is 50. I'm not going to hold it too much. There it is. So there we go. Thank you so much to everybody. Yeah, awesome and everything. Do we have the congratulations? Yeah, I don't know.
It's on the other page.
There we go.
Where's it?
Now let's get off of it before people start unfollowing, you know. Yeah, but no, thank you so much. I mean, it's a big thing there. The only thing that means now is someone's got work to do because, we got 475 right there. We're going to change that right now to 490 and then 500. Oh boy, that should be exciting when that does come through. So again, thank you everybody for
We're sipping champagne if we get.
We're doing something. We're definitely doing something. Some sizzle.
Or, well, I mean, I think champagne sometimes overrated.
Yeah, maybe beaver tails, something like that, you know.
Nice
figured out over there,
be good.
Scotch.
I'm definitely.
Okay, you're really celebrating this.
Well, I mean, okay, well, we can go a lot of different directions, but I am down with beaver tails. Beaver tail Fridays or something.
Yeah, I was kind of joking about that, but we can definitely get some beaver tails.
I don't even know where the
I want to level it up.
Here.
You can't get beaver tails around here.
There's got to be somewhere. Of course you can.
Where?
Yeah, well,
Queens Quay. That's not.
We're not going to get from
around here.
We're around here. So we're not going that far.
Let me guess. You're going to say Wonderland next? I mean,
it's
where
a
else
Canadian pastry.
What about the zoo? What about the zoo? Why don't you go to
it.
Scarborough Zoo and go up there and Ramin get?
I haven't been to the zoo in a long time. High school.
All right. She's going to look it up. The beaver tails. I mean, we can get Starbucks.
I want one now. We should be talking about Uber apparently. We went over so far.
Yeah,
sorry.
Let's go talk about Uber Eats.
It's a fantastic day, guys, for Uber, up 4 2/3 right now, looking to take out the day's high. So a couple of different conflicting upgrades or downgrades today. JMP Securities downgrading Uber, maintaining the same price target, though Goldman, on the other hand, maintains their buy and maintains their $96 price target. The reason this was important to me is because that $60 level continues to hold, guys. We're going on the 4th week now. Good day for Uber, 4 2/3.
I like that. I just saw in the chat here, it was a Mark in the chat.
I just feel like
give away some signed merch when we get to 500,000. Try to figure something like that out. There's all kinds of stuff we can try to do. Just give us.
It's generally like $10 an autograph. We can take that down half price.
See, why? I'm hungry, and now.
I just want to show everybody because I feel like there might be some controversy, Ramin, about this is what beaver tails are. So it's like the tail is the pastry, and then you can just get like whatever kind of topping you want on it, basically. And it's just like s'mores and all this kind of stuff, Reese's here. You really start, I'm not going to scroll too far farther down. I don't know what else is going to come up.
How do you do?
Okay, we're supposed to, okay, something about Uber in the main chat, but okay, we'll look at that in a minute. Just really quickly, thanks, Ramin, we'll have a quick look. But Uber today, yeah, nice day, up to $63, up 4 and a bit %. Look, I mean, we've been buying this dip. Yeah, we've been buying, but Sharif's like, wow, you guys have been buying that dip. That's great. I haven't. It's like, okay. But yeah, no, that's, I don't know if it's what I was going to say. So Sharif, never fear, man. I think you might have more opportunity to buy this because the thing is like, I'm not sure this is out of the woods. I mean, that story about we got Waymo really scared this thing downside right there. Tesla with their robo-taxi situation. I mean, I think can we all be friends? You know, that's kind of what I'm thinking about right now. When I was in London, I talked about this on the show. They had on the River Thames there, the Uber boats that were great. They still have, I believe they're going to get something done with potentially helicopters and things like all this. There's Uber Freight, and I think we can all work together. But at the end of the day, you're getting close. Like if you don't believe in the trade, I could see a bail at some point. You almost got it right there in and around $58, $59. But let's see if Uber can hold it. It's nice to get the upgrade today, and it's nice to get a little bit of hopefully some kind of tailwinds now as Uber gets pushed forward, hopefully into the new year, and people start picking up some value because Uber being down at 63, I wonder if like April, May, we look at this name as an $80 name and wonder why we missed it so badly. So I'm going to be in it right now, in and around those prices, and cover some more Google. As there it is, Google on a little bit of a reload one more time at the 200 period. Let's go, man. As we say, there's a nice little trade there, nicely done in the money, and then Niels and Rigetti as well. And there goes Uber, or there goes Google. Nice downside take here for that pushing lower.
So I think this Uber might not be out of the water yet, but technically it looks real good. Where's my trend? See, I gotta get in the habit of making sure I have these trend lines, which I pulled it up. I'm pretty sure I had drawn this. But if you just look at this, from the time that it held the 50-period moving average in there, this is what the trend line looks like. And it's on a weekly chart, by the way. You can tell by the big W in there. But all I'm looking for myself is I've been kind of waiting for it to close on the weekly above the trend line, which it's basically about to do this week. Knock on wood. Like if it closed here above 63, technically it's going to hold this trend line. Anything above. And that just means I want to buy it on Monday if that happens. So for myself, I haven't done anything with Uber since the last time I sold some after it got added to the NASDAQ, to the S&P 500. So that's what I was looking for. It's just the hold of this trend line has happened on the weekly, and I want that close above. If I'm using a weekly chart in a long-term position, then I need it to close above the level I'm looking at for long. I don't do any shorts, so I don't have to worry about the other direction. For today, I mean, hey, it just made a double top break. I mean, that's not bad. I look at this on a 15-minute prior high, 62.90 in there, and then go back and sort of see 62.90. So I feel like a join of the trend makes some sense here on Uber. The next available dip, as long as it holds onto this level here, look for some kind of a consolidation or a dip and go on Uber. I'm going to throw this one up on a level 2, and we'll see if we can get that one. I like a stock that is relatively strong in a market like this, right? Like the NASDAQ has been stair-step down and trying to break back out. Well, instead of trying to find something to fight the bottoms, why not just join the trend on something already strong, like in Uber? And just to mention, I know we talked about Rigetti a couple of times here, but it just caught a lot of, I'm going to be bidding down here. It just caught a lot of volume off of VWAP, but 18, to me, is still that resistance level. So this has been 18 the last couple of sessions on Rigetti. As far as I'm concerned, there's a big seller at 18, and they just keep dumping the stock. So when it gets to that price or in front of it, I'm getting out. I'm definitely already trailing it up here. And if it breaks 18.25, that's the, I think it's 25. Yeah, 18.25. That's the breakout price on Rigetti. So I want to cover in front of 18, and then I want to take a break of 18.25 if it can go. The strongest of the quantum names, I think. Don't at me if I'm wrong. Of all the ones I looked at, it's the best. Certainly better than this Canadian one, which got smoked today. There was a Canadian quantum, not a penny stock, but it was a penny stock. I'm trying to remember the name of it. I'll look up the symbol in a second. But
QCN?
QCM or N?
No. It's a venture stock.
It's a venture stock. QNC. QNC, that's what it is. So here's this venture stock that was just a quantum name here in Toronto. It was flying like everything else, and then today happened. So there was a news story out on it that was not good. Basically, they had something that's not working. And
not good, yeah.
Yeah, I guess they're not. Yeah, it's not even open. I guess they eventually halted it news pending, so the stock isn't even opening back up. And this is you got to be careful. I know this is a Toronto stock, but if you don't think this can't happen on any one of these like smaller quantum names or smaller runners, this is the reason why you trade with stops. This is the reason why you take profits. Because look at how nicely this was churning for people that were long at the open. It was just a nice, clean long trade. It reverts the trend, halts down. Like if you actually had yourself a reasonable stop when this breaks the trend, okay, you could have been out here, not even worrying about any of this nonsense. That's why you have to take profit or trade with a stop and constantly be monitoring your position. Not that Rigetti's going to do this.
Is this stupid? But
if Rigetti breaks this, then I want to get out. I'm offering just in front, but if it breaks this channel, I'm going to get out on a 17.55. Let me just make sure that's where my trail is, as it's gone a little bit higher. And that's how you manage the trade. It comes back into VWAP. I can assess whether it's worth getting on the bid again at that particular price.
We just had to move down a little bit. Okay, so yeah, for Rigetti, anyway, I was with my friend on New Year's, and he was like so mad. So he bought them at 77 cents, and he had told me about it 100%, and we talked about it's been about a year. He had held that thing, he didn't hold it for that long, but he got out at $6. And I was just like, bro, like if you do that every time, you're going to be a very, very rich man. But nothing you could do about it. I was just telling him, like, try to hold a little bit more. And I keep saying that story. And then we were having actually some scotch as well on New Year's. And he was talking to me about it. And yeah, he was like, I was like, All right. So we did talk about that low taper fade. So my son for Christmas, there it is. But does it have the music or? Oh, she didn't have sound. But there it is. So that's my guy Bear in there. So it doesn't have sound. Okay, I have to get that figured out. But that's the low taper fade. Thing is that
is it music?
There's supposed to be like low tape of fade. It's like there's like a TikTok thing. It might not be Ramin. I might not have transferred forward. We did the whole tap. Anyways, that's it. So the thing is, the story about it is actually kind of funny. So all the barbers that I've taken him to, he hasn't come to Halim. I should bring him down here because I just go right after work. So sometimes he goes to there's this Asian lady in our neighborhood that he used to take them to when they were really small. He's not, he's not down with that anymore. He wants, the barber feel and everything. Then we went to sports hair clips. I forget what they're called, but it's all sports. They have TVs everywhere. But anyways, it's a bunch of ladies. It's actually a franchise. Sports Clips.
What's crazy? I've gone to the same barber for 20-something years, so I have no clue.
So he went a little bit everywhere. So he was like, okay, he wanted to get a new haircut and he wanted to find a new place. We found one in near our house. Anyways, the guy there, I don't know what island he's from, but he was fantastic. And the guy, he was with my son there. And you know what they do when they're in their chair and they do the little flicks. They've got all. So anyways, I don't know if you could see in that video, but he lined the guy up straight like this. You can't, let me see. Okay, stop. I don't know if it's hard to see, but anyways, he's got like a straight line right across it's hard to.
No, you gotta go.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So anyways, he doesn't care that much about that. The funniest part about it is like for his haircut, he's like, you know what, whatever, man, I'll get the haircut for you because it was crazy, like huge. So you get that for Christmas. The thing is, it was probably like a 20-minute haircut, but he was in the chair for like an hour. The guy was like this and like that, and I'm sitting there talking to the guy and everything.
That's a West Indian barber.
Exactly. No, it was fantastic. It was great. But then you know what my mistake was, Neil? I go just to cheer up the mood a little bit because, get the mood going a bit. I'm like, oh, you should see all the girlfriends Baron has. Oh boy, this guy was like, oh man, now with this new fade, the girls are going to be coming through and all this kind of stuff. And you have to send, the guy wanted to know all about this. I was like, my guy, he's 12, turning 13 years old here. He's worried about Fortnite skins and all that kind of stuff. So, trying to get that all focused. But it was a great time. He loved the barber. We'll be going back.
Gotta go back.
And anyways, great time there.
You find a good barber that A, is talented, but that you have a good time, which if you've never been to a West Indian barber, then I strongly suggest everyone do it.
It was great.
I'm glad you did that because one of my fondest memories as a kid was when my dad would take us to this West Indian barber shop and we'd just sit there and we'd be there for hours. Go in, like your cut is like 5-10 minutes. It takes a little bit longer because all they're doing is basically the movie Barbershop, man. And it's a heck of a lot of fun. Rigetti's at 18, everybody. So this is that level. I did slap the trail on. It did not end up breaking that prior bar low at 55. So as far as I'm concerned, at this point, I'm just going to try and give it a chance to break 18 even. But if it doesn't, I'm going to get out underneath this, like maybe 1784, 85 or so. I'm trying to give it a chance to press into the 18 level as Rigetti is looking like an absolute powerhouse up here. What else we got going on? You guys let me know what else you might be watching, but Rigetti's on my mind. We got Uber on the mind as well after we saw that big double top break. It still hasn't really pulled back underneath 63. Maybe it doesn't want to pull back under 63, but looking to see if we can't get a little bit of a dip by here on Uber. Everyone's like, hide your kids, hide your wife now.
So the guy comes back. So is this on still? I have stories for days here. Forget about trading. But no, he comes back from an overnight camp and with his school there, and he goes, I got my first girlfriend. So I'm like, okay there, slow this story down a little bit. Like, let me figure out what this is all about here. He goes, I got her Snapchat. He's like, I got her Snapchat. I'm like, my guy. But then I found out, I think a couple of, So anyway, as the story goes, he's really happy about that. So he's sitting in the barber shop and he's talking to the guy, right? And he's like, so I'm like, yeah, you had a girlfriend. He's like, oh, yeah, I got a girlfriend. He's like, yeah, I got her Snapchat, And then the barber goes, how's it going? He goes, oh, I unfollowed her. I was like, this guy not playing around, so meets the girl at the camp and then is like, gets home and is like, unfollow?
Shoot.
Anyway, there it is. So this is another West Indy bar. That's when he was 2 years old.
Oh my goodness.
So I just wanted to show you, like, that's mini me right there, 2 years old, one of his very first haircuts coming through into what was the picture before. So
that would have been 2014?
I believe, I mean, I could try to find the exact date, but I wanted to send that through because I sent that to him and I was like, look, that was one of the first times we ever went to get your haircut. So there it is, man. Yeah.
You know what? Anytime I see young pictures of Barron, all I remember is Barron is one of the reasons why some people, when they get married, they don't want kids at the wedding. And my wife and I, when we made our decision, we're like, no, we want kids to be at the wedding because I think we love family and it just makes it more fun.
Yeah.
And Barron, let's just say, sometimes people are a little bit scared to go on the dance floor and you never know who's going to break the ice. Barron didn't even wait a second. Like, we're still doing the speeches. He's like, nah, man, there's music, I'm dancing. And it was so much fun, and I think everyone had a great time with it. That's why you should have kids.
Sounds like bad parenting, actually, but
what?
By me. You know, bad parenting. You shouldn't be interrupting some speeches.
I mean,
I
thought it was fun.
Yeah, I probably. Yeah.
And as far as I'm concerned, it's my wedding, so I don't,
Yeah.
I
didn't even know that he was.
My wife's opinion is the only one that mattered that day. I was about to say,
keep the money, give me the baby. Yeah, that's the thing. Like, it's like, this is the thing about, like, these kids. They're just, we're doing everything for the kids.
It's always.
You know, at the end of the day, like, thank God I don't have to go to the barber as often. I feel like that, he's going to be going there quite often there. But there's the fade. Yeah, what's up? Ty Lore, the creator. Tyler Cox, $10. Fade it, baby. Yeah, maybe he's talking about the market right here. So thanks for that anyways. The first super chat right there. Number one super chat coming through. Thank you so much, Tyler, for that. And yeah, look, into the new year, right? I mean, have a great new year. And if anyone's planning on increasing the size of their family, congratulations on that. And if you are not, maybe consider doing it or not. All right, so yeah, Rigetti, look, I mean, we had bought that earlier there off VWAP. We had put it down on our sticky note today down here around 1550 or so and missed it. We were at 1450 on that because that was sort of where we closed out on Friday and in around this area, 1475 or so. So we were going to look at $15. We have it here on the sticky note. Unfortunately, the bottom was 1550. We did not want to sort of pick that up as it was going up and down 50 cents, was a little too violent, and then finally it got its way again. And we just waited for a pullback into VWAP. It was pretty clean. Volume was decent at the time. Right into VWAP, and then boom goes the dynamite. We have an out rate there. I don't know if you guys can see that, but that's 1780 off of here. So a good level there. We've been really hitting. We had Holo last week. We had Rigetti again last week. You were trading QBTS. We've really traded some of these. Even a GME has been traded on here quite often over the last little while. Not often as many of you probably like, but the names are moving around as well as some of these bigger. I mean, look at Unity. That's a name that we didn't really have on our radar so much. I mean, I think a lot of people thought on those tweets that there was going to maybe be a play with Unity.
You know what?
It's nice to see at least it's making some moves.
If Roaring Kitty's about Unity, and all of this stuff really is that he's got a position in this stock.
Yeah. What do we think?
It's just, the tweets have punked people. Because if you bought at the prices, maybe you could have held for like 1 or 2 days. Okay, so fine. If you bought the last tweet, then this was it. It was like at the 5th, I think it was. So it was $26 that day at the open or something like that. And then it rallied for maybe a day and a half to get to 28.5. So it made like 10% move. If you bought it and just sold it right away, like within a day, I think you're absolutely fine. But it then made a right-hand turn, and then look what happened today. Like, this was a stock, it was already bouncing. Like, again, he tweets after it's already moved up. And now you've got another one where it was already bouncing to the upside, holding the 50-period moving average. And then that 26 level, it couldn't even get past it. I sat all morning long looking for a breakout above here, which is silly. And it's happened before where you sit there and you want one trade because you're like, I want this thing to squeeze. And instead, that resistance level that you're staring at, that 26, it was just a God mode short. I did short it early when it broke the pre-market low and gave it to this prior bottom, then got back in when the same level broke. And now I'm in it just at the 24 quarter, in front of 24 quarter, as I think it's trying to fill in the entirety of the gap. So once again, we have Roaring Kitty. He's not rug pulling because there's no proof that he's pumping and dumping it, but if you keep buying this on his tweets, you're just getting smoked. You just trade this on its own volition, I think. Or just go long app lovin'. Like, there is a stock.
No, the best thing to do is try to go long based on.
Have you seen app lovin'?
I mean, I know the stock, how crazy it was in 2024 as it started again. I mean, that was one of the biggest, them and Palantir and a couple other names, software names.
Look, it's pulled back a little bit, but.
What is it up today? Another 3%?
It's up 3.5%. Like app was one of those parabolic. You come to the chart for a second. For anyone that hasn't seen app lovin', I know oftentimes, like, we'll talk about the same names that are running. I feel like app lovin' is. This to Palantir, if you look at their charts last year, is the same thing as NVIDIA in 2023 relative to SMCI. Like, everyone was looking at NVIDIA, SMCI in 2023 had basically the same move. And I think that's what you're seeing here with app as well. Let's go to the desk with Adara.
Looks like there might actually be a new small cap runner on watch here somehow with about 13 minutes until power hour. It's EJH. This company is called eHome Household Services. They are a Chinese ADR here. We've got only 2.3 million shares traded on the day. So like I said, a bit lower volume here. Total float of 8.6 million shares, market cap of $6.8 million, and 8% short float. I'm not seeing any catalyst on this, but it is worth noting there is a lot of social media attention on this name, even before the run-up. So lots of people were basically predicting a move up in this stock. EJH here apparently getting some retail attention, so keep an eye on this name as it tries to make new day's highs. Back to you.
I always try to remember about EHang, those crazy helicopters. Okay, so we took out some more. We got a 67 print right there on Google, so it's starting to be a good idea to short that thing. And we've basically covered, I'd say we have 10% left. I feel really silly, because I'm not going to reload this thing if it comes back up. The market's just doing its thing. You got to reward yourself a little bit. I wish it was going a little bit more than where it was. But when you're short up here at 15s, and then most of your covers are 80s, mostly all at 80s, right? These are all in and around 80, and now the 50 period is right there as well. You're trying to bump up against it. Look, I think it's pretty simple. We talked about what we'd rather be, and in this situation, we would rather be short, but it's I'm just worried that if we do break here on the futures, we could trade the futures. If you want to go short 21,125, that's that high right there. Give it 10 handles or so, maybe up to here, 2150. I'm just talking about the NASDAQ, and we're already on the forward contract. So it's H now 25 for those of you that are at real trading. No, I'm not going to check. I was going to check the top traders, but on a holiday. The last day wasn't the half day, but I don't think the numbers are going to be too crazy. We can look at them up in a second. But anyways, maybe the short in the futures. But I was just saying about Google, it's still a strong name. You can see the relative strength, right? 0.2. And I try to keep it as simple as possible. We all try to talk about the different styles that we have and what we're looking for in stocks. And for me, this one just came up to the 200 period. It worked there, so we did try it again. But if the market wants to blast higher right now, then this is not a name that we're going to be in, because it's probably going to run to green, and it doesn't take that much to get there. So we're stopping out and not reloading this thing. Right now we're short at 15. I had to stop at 30. You guys saw me take that when we was up here. So again, stop at 15, out at 30. We just wound up taking, again, back and forth there, 40, 50 cents. So to stop out of 10% of it for 15 cents, well in the risk parameters for me, but that's the stop, 189.30. And then maybe we flip it up and say, hey, the NASDAQ right here, like I said, looks to be breaking higher. So maybe we run to VWAP. I'm not in the maybe game, so I'm going to get out and then reassess after that what we're doing. But I don't know if you like rigatoni, penne, or just rigetti in general, because right here, there it goes right there to the upside, now up 20%. And now, not just one, but $2 now in the money off of that move. And I'm missing out on NVIDIA, says Soham.
Right, what's NVIDIA?
Yeah, probably. It's probably
I moved
ripping.
that chart to something else.
Must be ripping, right?
Oh, it just busted
that's
through.
Intel. Oh, Intel was a good trade today.
It's busted through VWAP.
Oh, it did? Upside, obviously, yeah.
Yeah. So NVIDIA is busting through VWAP.
Yeah.
Let me just quick.
I'm okay missing out on it, but it should have been a long.
Stop on Unity. If I move the trail. Okay, it's not there yet. So the trail on Unity's in here. It's the only thing that we're left in. I'll get to Rigetti in a quick little second, but that should be at 85. Double check. I want to make sure my stop is in. Might tighten it up even a little bit more. This market is starting to really revert this back to the upside. So anything that was weak might be making a curl. I don't necessarily want to go long anything like that. So here's Rigetti did end up breaking that high. I got it at 18, and it just came right right back through. It got to 17.8. I don't need a bid down there. It got to 17.8, but now I want to bid out in front of that prior high for any kind of a dip. So Rigetti, fresh highs. Uber just did a little bit of a curl, and you want like Uber just did this curl right here at 62.8. We're going to jump on the bid, give it to 62. Like this lower highs here, like 62.78 or so. So give it to that range, and then try to buy this dip here in Uber. Darth Buddha just said maybe AMC. Really? I feel like this is the kind of day that I would not want to be involved in AMC. I'm just going to throw that out there. Because if you're a small cap or you're like a quote unquote squeeze type name, and you're dead flat, and you're at the lows, like that's exactly the kind of thing where you're going to get yourself into trouble. If you short it when it's doing nothing, you're into trouble, but that's really been the best trade lately on it. And there's just no catalyst for it to go into the long trade. That said, this is that price where it has bounced for the last, almost full year. Like go back to May, $4 has been the spot on AMC. I just don't know what's actually going to cause it to bounce from here again. So anything is worth looking at in a general sense, but there needs to be something to get this off the schneid. I think it's at the right price on the daily chart for it to maybe make some kind of a move, but it takes more than just that. Here. So AMC probably not it. Quantum names are going to be the jam. Like Qubits, D-Wave, and Rigetti are the three that I would be looking at in the quantum space.
Yeah, I don't really have anything other than Google, really. I got to get some more into that quantum space. I don't know. Waiting for some kind of...
I'm looking for that for the Ion Q.
Right.
I like that one.
Oh, yeah, that's right. There was the Sam Altman one, too, OKLO. I decided that I'm going to try, just because of that risk to reward again on Google. We already talked about where these futures are. It is trying to bounce in and around that area, so I'm going to take a 15 now. And now we have a position that I'm comfortable with, giving it this 15 cents back up there to the upside and see what winds up happening. If we're able to take something out at the bottom, not at the bottom, but for the same risk to reward in and around O's, we'll probably do that. And I'm just putting the orders out right now. And then also... get some out in the 90s, low 90s, low O's. If it can work, we will try to reset this trade. Just in case we do kind of barcode a little bit here, we'll take it and try one more time. Let's go. But yeah. Anyways, the stop is there. I'm not even going to worry about it. I feel like it's probably going to get run. The futures just tried the 50-period moving average and didn't break it. Now breaks the local high again. Seems strong to me, right? I'm going to add the 200 period to that in a minute. Okay, so the other name I wanted to look at, I'm seeing some Tesla situations here. Why is that showing up on the scanner right now? Trying to break it a little bit higher, I guess. There's the 200 period. You guys know we talk about the 1 minute 200 period all the time. So showing up now as a trade possibility there, holding out on 380. If you shorted like 379.50, I think there is something to giving. Okay, here we go. Google, nice little reload back into the O's. Give me that bid now and we'll be okay. But right there, I was just going to say, you don't want to stop out right on the O's. Like that was 380.40. So like I've done that before many times. And again, you pick your own stops. Okay, there goes Google, by the way, to the downside. Let's go. Ride that bear, baby. Right back in. Okay, there it is. Yeah, Google, let's go. We just put this on board and now we're out. Like we just got out 3 times down here for another one. There's another winner, man. Let's props it up. If you're a Scalp Nation and you're with me, man, we've talked about how we scalp. We all talk about our own individual styles, right? I don't think I've never seen anybody scalp the way I do. And not that it's the right way, but I'm just saying like all of these out, sometimes profitable, sometimes not. You just got to know when to turn it off and when your stops are and things like that. And that can be the hardest thing. It's not necessarily the most profitable situation. Holding on for longer periods can give you greater trades.
Depends on the stock style. It doesn't.
Yeah,
there's no one way to.
The thing is, it's like that Rigetti trade, right? It's like I don't hold it all to the upside, but like when it comes in there, we're scalping because the P&L is there, and then holding just a little bit. But yeah. That's part of the problem when you're scalping, though, right? Is like what stock is going to be that big run?
You're either day trader or swing trader. I think as long as you stick to in a general sense, stay in your lane. Like there is some blending that can happen. Like I had a trader that used to tell me, "Oh, well, you just pretend like you're an algorithm that's doing both things at once." Like that's easy for an algo to be like, it's trading this one stock and it's scalping this 80% of the position, and the rest is a separate trade that it's holding, and it just separates the two.
Right.
When you're a trader, you're just sitting in the one position with the one P&L and the one set of shares. So it's harder to separate your brain like that, but you can try to do it. I just find it's a little challenging to try and be both worlds. The other thing it's breaking out, and shout out to, I think it was, I just saw it in the chat, was multiple people were mentioning Faraday.
Boom. Oh, Faraday, that was the one last week.
Yeah, so Rigetti's not dipping back into 18, but the next one breaking, and Faraday, I am in it on this break, so I saw it with you guys. Faraday Future, is it Faraday Future something, or just Faraday Future?
Innovations or something? I don't know.
Whatever. Let me get it right. Faraday Future Intelligent Electric. I knew it was more than just Faraday Future. So that's the name of the company. I'll probably never say it again, but this was a key price yesterday, Tuesday at 340, so it just made the breakout of a local high. I got 38.5 as an average price, not 38 even, which I love that. It doesn't even make any sense sometimes when you take a midpoint, because last I checked, if I have a price of 38.5, you'd round up, not down. So let's see if we can get to 350 on Faraday Future something something, and if we can fill in even just this part of the gap into 375, 380, that'd be a great target. It has to break the 350 first. So I got another fill in front of 350, which is sitting at 48. And of course, it's curling at 47 or resisting at 47. We'll get some out at 47 and some out at 48 and split the difference and see if we can go 60s and 70s. And then every 5 to 10 cents, scalp some out. It's not a penny stock, but I mean, it's a $3 stock that was a penny stock recently. So let's make sure we get profit into this range. What else is going on? You guys let us know if something else moving. Obviously, this was one that just started going, and we were covered Rigetti, which is continuing to rally. I know NVIDIA was just talked about. What's it doing?
I mean, we just put 50 cents right there as, not much happening.
Another one.
Too much happening. There it is. Look at Google right now, 40 cents. We just put this on like 3 minutes ago, and boom, right there. So, and I did find it. I don't think Neil was here last week. What day was this? This was December 30th. Look at this Faraday Futures, 220 there off the bid, and boom, all the way to 320. So it does have the juice there, Faraday. That was last week when we were trading it right there again. So yeah, that was the other one. We were talking about some of the low float runners there that we were trading last week. And oh boy, there it is. Your number one P&L name now will be Google. Easy day on that one as that reload. We just talked about how we're reloading it. We said that our style is much unique to everyone else. But at the end of the day, your style means nothing if it's not a profitable one. So right into there goes Google. And again, we talked about why we were reloading it, giving ourselves 15 cents, taking our first out at a 15-cent winner. Then we talked about 90s, low 90s, low 80s, low 60s right now for Google. So I'm going to get out another piece right now. Scalp them out, man. Get it out as we hit this bottom. And now we'll see if we can go lower. We still have 30% left on this trade. It is a nice one right there. So nice to the downside on Google. We'll wait to see now, Neil, and Faraday, Uber, and Unity. Okay, so big movers abound right now for the show. So okay, let's just keep on going. So that's Google. Hopefully we get a little bit lower. Rigetti is now $2.34 in the money and still ripping higher. We're just going to hold on to it. And this is sort of that difference that we talk about in being able to do both things. As Neil said, the different styles going through it. Have a little bit of both in you. You know, I mean, there's the buy, there's the hold, there's the banger right there. Nice upside move for today on RGTI. So, yeah, we're hitting keys, but not hitting too much here. QUBT, so some of the quantum names, I guess they're all going. QBTS probably.
QBTS.
Ooh, $9. Oh my God.
I know QBTS really took it on the proverbial chin. But yeah, breaking back above its highs. QUBT, I should say. And this is another overhead resistance at 19, so maybe it wants to give you a bit of a following breakout. This is not nearly as strong as Rigetti, obviously. I'd be cautious with this because if Rigetti curls, this is in front of multi-day resistance. This one's a little bit trickier. I wouldn't necessarily want to chase that one. I did get into Uber. Faraday just busted the 350 level, so we got in under 40s at that 38 level. It just got to 50s. I mean, the prior bar here is like 333. Right, so it's about 5 pennies worth of risk that now I tighten up down underneath this. Then a prior bar is now my entry at 338. So it's basically going to be a break even out, and then we'll see if we can't get it to ride a little further. What else is going? Tesla's making some power moves, but that's back to the downside, oddly enough. Tesla, when this market bounces, Tesla doesn't go very far. When we sat down, we're like, yeah, if Tesla gets to VWAP again, we'll go for that short because that was the only one after the open that worked for me. We're not getting VWAP anytime soon at this rate on Tesla. 7% and technically still counting because it is on its way back. It's trying to bounce down, but on its way back into the downside. All right, so the newest position again was just Uber and Faraday, which we both went over, and looking to see if there's anything else parabolic that might be moving around if these start to slow down.
Yeah, for sure. I was just looking here about looking at Google, just taking some more profit out of it, and then looking to see what else we can do. So I'm gonna just hold on to Rigetti. I mean, some of these other names, like I'm surprised Google. Like this is why I know it's obviously a quantum move up, right? But OKLO, this was the one that was interesting. That IONQ might be one of the more solid ones. We talked about QUT.
It's not as strong as the others, though.
Yeah. We talked about QUTM as being something as well with ETF. We can't chart it yet. I didn't even put a ticket in. I should probably do that if I'm going to try to make anything of that.
I thought they added one. They added one of them.
Oh, maybe they did. Okay, so maybe it's now in there. But at the end of the day, this Oklo could be something as well. Not really running today, only up that 1.5%. So we could watch out for that. Trying to hold base here on a 5-minute chart. That's 2150 down here. Could be a play for OKLO in and around that 2150 or so spot. So we'll have a quick look there and see if there's going to be anything to do with this name. So that could be a runner. And then QTUM. Yeah, so that's still not there, but that's okay. And then the other one.
Another ETF.
Yeah, the name that I tried today, this is not quantum related, but I'm going to talk about it just a little bit. That would be SMR. We did take a swing and a miss on SMR today. We went long there, took 15 pennies or so, then tried to defend 18. It lost it, 1790 out, and that was the bottom basically. It does go as low as 1780 before retracing back up, and look at that, right into pre-market highs again. So in not trying to make trading too hard, that if the name is red and it comes into this pre-market level, you can use these highs as your stop. And that gave you quite a good trade back to the downside there for SMR. Okay, you know what? Just about Rigetti again. I know it's starting to go. The 50 period is here at 18. I'm debating putting that as my stop. We're now 250 in the money on this name. Rigetti will be a good name for me. It'll be my second. Second. So Google will be P&L number 1. Rigetti will be P&L number 2. Intel P&L number 3. NVIDIA P&L number 4. So those are all green stocks. Red stocks for me. We have one red stock today, Tesla. So not bad. We'll go 4-1 today, but we already talked about how Tesla was all the way to the downside. We should have had better executions on that, but okay, we'll go there. Now Google's trying to pick up again, so we're back into that level where we've got that 10% or so left for Google, and probably not reloading it, but I don't blame anybody that does, but once, twice, thrice. Reminds me of this NVIDIA trade. We got green on NVIDIA. I think we took a loss. We were long early on NVIDIA. I mean, NVIDIA's a green stock for me. Oh yeah, right into here, right. So there it was. So we were up here. It was a great trade through 137. Then we were red as it tanked in there as Tesla fell back in. Then we got stopped out there, but then we bought it back, and now Greensville, even after this, and you guys said like you missed the run on NVIDIA. I got green on NVIDIA and then got out of the way. Look at all of these shorts until eventually giving it back up. So there's the scalper mentality right here, scalping these levels in the middle of the day and trying to hold on for, like this winner right here is 135 to 138. That's $3 right there. So have the ability to hold a bunch. We held so much of this, man, to the upside. So that was a really day changer there from red on NVIDIA to well positive, and then gave a little bit back, I believe, in here as we broke lower, shorted, broke higher. So yeah, green stock, but not as, considering it was like the number 1 list on here for me, it's just green. So matcha right there for that one. So yeah, a lot of, I know, Rivian, a lot of
Rivian millionaire.
He's just like Jesus, yeah. But he
has a great comment here. I want to get to cost in a second, but a couple of things. So you're now starting to head back into the upside. So I'm going to put a trend line on this when it does make this move through the high at 360, which it should do any second now. We got 38s with a 35 stop, and now you're at that 60 level. And then you keep in mind, like there is overhead resistance on FFIE, as we were mentioning. This is Faraday in this range here. So there was a turnabout on Tuesday, pretty much at this price or in and around this price. Like at this low is about $3.70, and then the top of this range is about $4. So this is about a target area that we should consider. I'm holding on to just a quarter of it, actually just underneath a quarter, just over 20% of it left on the long trade. And if it does break trend, I want to jump out of this. No longer going to give it to a break-even stop. Uber is working back in towards its high of the day. Always going to mess me up, Uber being on the New York and not the NASDAQ. So working it back into the high of the day. I want to hold through a break of the high on Uber. Was trying to add to this underneath 63, but then there's only two positions we put on. That's been FFIE and Uber. I've just been in Unity software for most of this day. There's a crazy thing. There's a crazy thing happening on that Canadian stock that we were showing, which is crazy. And it turns out, and this happens from time to time. I've had this happen to me. But anyone trading at Real Trading, you've probably heard this. All of these positions, all of the trading on this stock down around like 90 cents to like 130, they're getting broken. So sometimes, and this is, you have to be careful when you trade a liquid name. So I've seen this happen before, where you get a crazy move and they decide to break, the market decides to break some trades. So it looks like they're breaking a bunch of trades in the bottom there. So if you happen to be at Real Trading, just be careful. Make sure you check that your position is real. I've been on the other side of that. You cover the position, they break the other side, and then you're in something that you don't think, you don't realize that you should be. A couple of things in here. Boeing, I saw it in the chat, and I'm mad at myself over Boeing. This is a flat stock for me on Boeing because I did trade the 70 level after the fact. Like it already bounced off that 170 early. I'll get to the daily chart in a second. And then it did this triple bottom. I got in at 170 and a half, started scalping out, moved my stop up here to like 170.25 from 170 even, did a bit of a reload. It stopped out, and I just kind of walked away. I'm like, okay, I guess we're not holding 170. And then look at it. Right back, 169.80 is the low, and now you're at 172. Why does that level matter? I mean, you tell me. 200-period moving average and double bottom on Boeing. So Boeing, it was news, obviously, this morning, bad news out of China for them, but it's managed to hold on for a second time. So first you had that unfortunate crash and the loss of life. It looks to me like they had bounced off of that once, and then now you're bouncing twice on Boeing. A close above 170 is going to be a good sign. Clearly, it's been a stock that's been in the depths of you-know-what. I think it's on a curl. Caveat, or candidly, I did buy shares when it bounced the 200-period moving average in my personal account the first time. So I've added to a position I already had in Boeing as it's finally holding the 200-period as well. Eric McCambie saying you need a little Man U. Not really. I'm more of I'm a Liverpool guy. You probably mean the stock that doesn't move. Anyways, the stock doesn't go anywhere. Why are we looking at Man U here? Because it's going to the downside? Because Liverpool's better. That's why. You must not mean the stock. Man, the stock's not doing anything here today, Eric. Let us know what you guys are trading. Again, I'm in the same names. We just got a 63 fill. So we just took a quick 25 pennies out of this one here on FFIE. Again, only worth 5 cents worth of risk. And sometimes you want to scalp the trade. Sometimes you want to hold it. I think a stock with 74 million in shares that has this type of a range, this is 40 pennies or 10% from 12.45 to now when it broke. Right, so 2 hours to go that 40 cents. So yeah, I would want to scalp it inside of that range if we're going to have the opportunity to. That's what we're going to do. Yeah, Manchester United, bro. No, BPN Mega. I don't have too much of a dog in the fight in the Premiership, but my cousin played for Liverpool. So it's pretty much a done deal that I'm always going to be a Liverpool fan. He hasn't played for them in a long time. He's my age. He retired years ago. But I'll always be a Liverpool guy. You're not going to get me to cheer for Man U. That's not going to happen.
I brought you a water, but I see you have one, so.
I'll take it.
I should be. Brand new fresh water.
Well, see, this is already warm. Thank you. I
there you
appreciate
go.
that.
Yeah, that's what we're doing. I just refilled a little bit of coffee because mine got cold, and I was like, I wanted to finish it.
I was supposed to do a read.
Okay. When? Now?
How's about now-ish, Sean?
Okay.
Kick off. Let me show you the right one. Kick off 2025. That'll be this year. with a massive savings from Trade Ideas right now. Exclusive to Trader TV, viewers are going to get 25% off any subscription with code TraderTV25, making it real easy for you. Or go big.
Yeah.
30% off the premium annual using TTV Pre-M 30. That's TTV Pre-M 30. Both these are valid through January 3rd. Don't miss out on these New Year's savings, and let's crush 2025 together. Scan the QR code you see on the screen in front of you, click the link in the description, and don't forget Trader TV 25, or go for the premium annual TTV Prem.
Yeah, on the screen there. Yeah,
on the screen.
More for you. I didn't know what it was either. I was like, I don't know if you can see that there.
Oh, well, it's, you know what?
It's in the way, yeah.
Like, I have my water, and that kind of blocks. We have a program monitor you guys can't see. So when we look here, we know what's on the screen. Position board correct, like what camera's on or whatever, but it's being blocked by a bunch of stuff. It's my bad.
You're away the secrets over here. Someone's saying about AMD. I don't mind this trade against this 121 if you're going to go short on AMD. Still red. The only thing is like now you're starting to get above these levels. Highs, higher lows. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I'm just like, if you're going to go short, I almost feel like this is where you go and you give it like, you don't even maybe give it up to 121. Like it can really, thing is like there's a lot of juice to get back down into here, right? I mean, you could get back into 120. I don't think that's a problem at all, especially if the market wants to do what it's doing right here, which isn't a whole heck of a, what's up, man?
There it is.
I like that. What's up, Fabian? What are we doing that for? But I like that, though. That was good.
Program.
Yeah, I like that. To show the program monitor.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, there it is. Yeah, so there it is. Okay, just really quickly here. I just wanted to show you guys 21,150. So you are starting to break out right now on the NASDAQ. So I would say no more reloading for me, the shorts. But those of you that are looking into AMD, that would be a level for you. So I just think that you're getting up to this 121, and VWAP is probably going to get tested at some point. So I would just say, like, for me, I'm going to stay away. We've gotten out of more down here. We talked about that. I'm not going to reload this. It's still 189.30 or so is where we wind up getting out. This Rigetti is like nonstop, now breaking through 19 and getting even higher right now through all of the levels right now. Yeah, I mean, AMD to VWAP, and if you want it, you got it, man. It's all you can eat there on AMD. I think it does start to go higher. The market's starting to break out again right now. Palantir's still down 1%. So this could be another one of those names where, you know, you've based out again down here. I cannot believe that move down into 72. I wish we would have seen that a little bit more earlier today, but that was a great recovery, a complete V shape. And then you sort of made that move again. And then, yeah, you keep on bouncing off the 50, but now we've broken it. So now you can go long 75, but you got to give it at least to the 50 period. So if you could do that all the way back down, I don't think that's a horrible plan. There goes Google. And again, this is what we're talking about. We keep this our #1 stock just by doing this, and that is by getting out. We talked about having 10% left. There's the out right there. Take our 15-cent hit. And there was a question from Tyrese, and we did the video. It'll be out tomorrow or on the weekend or something. And it was your question of the week, and it was about consistency. And I was just saying, you just got to stick to your plan. The minute I feel like we get out of our plan is when you start being inconsistent because you don't know where you're making your money, you don't know sort of what the proper risk management is and all that stuff. So anyways, Google, we are now out of that, looking to do something else. Did AMD get to 121 before I throw it back to Neil? Yes, it did. So there it is. We said it had a 121 peg on it. Now I would feel a little bit better if you wanted to short it. You do have some kind of protection into here. That VWAP is 121.30. So that is actually, if you give it to 50s, I think you can short it in the 20s or 30s of the 121. So we'd like to see one more blast up here, which just happened, right? We were just debating shorting at 70. So give it 25 cents, 25 more cents, and I think you're in the short area if anybody's looking to do that.
Yeah, I think it's one of the weak names out here that actually gives you that VWAP trade for setup. Like, you got to stick to what works for you. Like, you're not going to get it in Tesla. Well, maybe you are. Before I even finish saying that, Tesla is back to 380 and is a couple of dollars away from VWAP. This could be a little bit distinctly different, though. Never got 10% down, but it did double bottom. That's a hefty double bottom, so there could be a bit of a relief rally going on in Tesla. And then the proper way to trade this off VWAP at least I learned that lesson when I was trading the first 2 times at VWAP, was to actually allow it to break. Because you're getting stopped out and then trying to get back in. Instead of doing that, let it break VWAP and then let it hold under VWAP and then get in after the fact. Bit of a pullback here in FFIE, so just very quickly. It just got up to 70s. I got filled at 72 there, and then a bit of a pullback into the 60 level. If it breaks 33.5, we'll just get out. It's already given us the break that we wanted, 340, close to that 375 area there. So if I do see it lose 350, I'm going to jump out of it and see if we can't find a little something else. Uber is a trend as well through that high. If we lose 63.20, then I'm jumping out of this. So we got the dip on that high break. It holds support like we wanted. It then got the higher low, slapped the trend line on it. If it breaks this prior high underneath the trend line, which is 63.20, I'm jumping out. Otherwise, we're going to hold on. And Pelican says QSI is going.
Yeah, I saw
I mean, quantum, if you have quantum in your name, you're probably going today. I feel like Rigetti percentage, well, maybe not percentage-wise compared to this, but yeah, I guess this is a better percentage move. I was about to say Rigetti's the strongest of the bunch, but technically this is up 38%. QSI, don't know as much about it, and I haven't traded this one. I've traded QUBT and Rigetti before. I don't think I've ever traded QSI. Looks to me like it's got pretty solid liquidity, though. I don't see anything wrong with it. You got a double top at $4. This has a chance to maybe run into that high. Like a joiner on any dip in a prior high would be about 360. So as FFIE is starting to maybe go sideways after the breakout trade, this one back into 360 if it dips and can hold a higher low. Yeah, it looks pretty good. It just made a run here, QSI. I'm going to check what the short float is on this.
Yeah, good call. I was looking at 380. That's probably a good break, or 380, yeah, on that one. Probably a good break.
11%. It's not bad.
Look, I don't, first of all, we're back into Google. I'll talk about that in a minute. We're just scalping it out now for 1-to-1. If we're lucky enough to get more than that, then I would consider that lucky. So we're going to wait to see if that does happen. But Rigetti, man, I'm going to follow the 50-period moving average. I just put it at 50. It is going to make its move up higher right now. But now, and I just canceled the stop. So we're long right down here at 16.29. My stop was a break of $16. So we gave this one 30 cents, now to be up $3. And again, small piece on it. We got to do better holding more. But there it is, 18.50 is going to be my stop. Where is the 50-period moving average? Last time we broke it, it did have a nice tank down. Last time we held it, it bounced off huge. So let's just wait to see now. There's the hold right there, right? Hold, 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 blast. So I mean, now it's really going. This is making us very, very happy here today. That is Rigetti, of course. And then here goes Google, the other name that we're in. 2 quantum names today, Google, Rigetti for now. And there we got stopped out right there. We got back in because I was like, oh man, now the market comes back. We wanted to make sure we take a little bit more profit on that. So there's a couple more outs at 02. So again, we're short now at 17, 16 halves. So we'll take out, again, like 15 pennies, hopefully a little bit more than that to the downside. If we can get out of half, go R to R, then let the rest run, that would be great. But we did get stopped out on Google. I want to get back into it in case that was that move that we talked about. We just didn't get to view up and we were traced back. But this is a pretty easy trend higher, so I don't want to fight it for too long. Well, I am bidding right now again at 02. 02s and then 92s on the NASDAQ gateway. Because again, this is what we're talking about with doing all of this. Obviously, I've traded thousands of shares today. But like my fees are a little bit less than $50 right now. So that's the thing. Because every single time I'm getting filled, like I'm bidding 02, NASDAQ will pay me to get that fill. So although we still have SEC fees and clearing fees, and there's a couple different associated execution, things like that, they're all minimal compared to the rebate that you'll get. So as long as you find yourself sometimes rebate trading and sometimes punching in and punching out, you can really manage your fees. It's not, like the perfect trading style.
I think when you find a stock like, can we go back to the chart for a second? When you find a stock that has a very clear range like that, that's a perfect example where you want to add liquidity. Right. And then make sure you're getting the rebate because you're trading inside of the range. Whereas I've made this mistake before where like I get in a mode of adding liquidity and then I'll miss like a Rigetti long because I'm trying to add liquidity. But sometimes you got to punch into those stocks or punch out of them, which means removing liquidity where you might pay a bit of a fee.
Yeah, it's like right here you punch, just to show you right here, like when I get out, that's a punch out. So I pay for this fill because it hits my level and then I tell it to basically aggressively limit and or kind of like a market order out of it. You know, and then when I just got filled there at 02, I was bidding that and adding liquidity, receiving a rebate when it ran through me. So yeah, good.
Well, I got to mention something.
Yeah, go mention.
Because when I went to check the, and I saw this and it was mentioned in the chat as well. When I went to check the short float on this QSI stock, 11.5%. The other thing I found is it's not a quantum computing company. It's like a life sciences company. So this is. And I'm not saying that QSI is going to stop running or anything like that, but yeah, QSI is not a quantum computing company. So I'm just going to throw that out there. Use that however you want. If it's going up in sympathy because it has quantum in the name, maybe factor that into whether you want to swing it. It's up to you. When I heard it, all of them are going without checking. You make the assumption. The second I saw it, I'm like, okay, let's mention it to you guys. A couple of things in here. We did trail out of both. So Uber broke trend. The only things we put on this afternoon for myself has been Uber. And then we just took that FFIE, the Faraday trade, as Faraday just came back in. It broke the trend pretty heavily, and we're now out at 350. Maybe it wants to continue going, but we're long when it broke out that high with a tight stop. It gave us at best that 373. We still held on to just over 20% that we'll take out here for that 10-cent win. So if Faraday is going to go again, I need to see it make some kind of a rounded bottom, show us a bit of a low, and then we can work back into it. Part of me wants to look at that QSI and start thinking a reversion on it. Now that I know it's not even a quantum computing name. I'm going to double check, just make sure there isn't a story that I'm not aware of here, because just because they're not a quantum computing name doesn't mean they don't have a catalyst.
Right, yeah, exactly. I mean, it could be a short flow, you said 11% or something like that. Definitely there. We do get 94s on Google as we talk about, limiting some of the risk. Now we have half, exactly 50% left on. What's Amazon doing? So again, more bids. I don't have any more bids on Google, but we could put some, let's try to make some money. What about a 70 bid on Google? We'll put that in a minute. Let me look at Amazon. Hold on, let me put that in first. All right, by 70, I mean, let's bid some 81s, and then we'll bid some more a little bit lower than that. We'll go to like a 71. I just want to spread it out just a little bit. All right, so Amazon, positive stock. The thing is about Amazon, I know some people talking about it. That was a nice move down. I don't know what was up with that. You did have a little bit of a volume spike that came in around 1230, creating this downside move, but that was also a break of VWAP. But we've broken VWAP before, so I'm not sure what's up with that. It's nice to see we're still up 1%. I mean, how much were we up here at 225? I mean, that must have been a nice day for Amazon as the market did open up pretty high. But you're coming into this level again, 221. So that level's held a couple times and then blasted off. And then when we went through it, it didn't really think about it too much. It did bounce around a little bit there at 1230 before making that move back in. So I would say, again, I feel like the market wants to be zeros today. So you're up 0.3, down 0.3. It just takes a little bit of a move to get to flat. What time is it? 323. So I was going to say, if Amazon gets anywhere sort of near even this level, we're getting pretty close to it right now, 221. So 50 cents higher. I think you can play that into VWAP of 221.60, hoping for the market to maybe regress back in just a little bit and then give you that trade. So I would say that would be something to look for Amazon. A short maybe in and around 221-ish, so that's 50 cents from now, and then VWAP lining up with this bottom. So like I said, that's exactly how I trade and how I'm trying to do it, is just support and resistance, support and resistance, support and resistance, line it up with some of these fancy lines, which would be VWAP in this case, and give yourself a trade. So let's give it a second. I'm a little surprised here. The market's not doing too much. Amazon just hovering around would be really great.
Yo, there's just a hammer on Rigetti.
Oh, I got out. Okay. All right. So good call, Neil. I was like, all right. Didn't even notice. We didn't have many shares. We talked about that. But there's the out there on Rigetti. And good thing Neil brought that up because we talked about the 50 period. So there's the break right there. Looks like we have 41s or 42s. So might be a little bit of a dramatic pull there. I think we probably, giving up that 60 cents all the way back in from the highs, I'm fine with it. It's going to be my best out. But we did have a similar out, 1785. So we're out there on Rigetti. Let's see maybe if it can halt one way or the other. That might give us a trade. I don't know if you have to pay for shorts on this.
On Rigetti,
I can try to throw it 100 shares.
The problem is I might have.
Yeah, I just tried 100 shares. I don't have them, so.
I think I paid for it this morning knowing we were going to trade it.
Yeah.
And just for anyone, when we pay for locates for the ability to go short, oftentimes it doesn't necessarily mean you want to short the stock. It's just that you know you're going to be trading it, and the ability to have multiple different types. There's certain stop orders that we use at Real Trading where I can use one and then I can have take profits, no problem. There's other ones, if I put a stop in, then if I try to get take profits out, I actually have to have shortable shares because it's considering one of my stop orders as a sell. So if I want to use that stop order while I'm trading, I want to pay for locates. And let's just say the stop order that allows me to do whatever I want. If that one goes down, I need to be able to pivot if I'm trading that stock. So sometimes you'll pay for the locates. Look what it just did. Like, look at that buyback on Rigetti. When a stock is doing this, it kind of tells you something. It just dropped $1 to then rebound 60 cents here. So big move here on Rigetti. Oh no, and FFI did the same thing. Trails you out and then right back through the highs. Faraday is an absolute beast with the suicide doors, as Sharif is very fond of the suicide doors on it. But Faraday, it trailed me out, and if you go back, I guess maybe it does want that 385 after all. So it's just right back into fresh highs here on Faraday. I'm just looking for that next trading opportunity. I was just looking at that QBI, I think it was. Yeah, QBI. QSI. I don't know. Now that FFIE's back up, I might try to get back into it. And then it's Jaspreet saying anything on EJH.
You're right. Adara had that story.
No, and there's no news on EJH. I can see it's trying to make the run at $1. I'm always very cautious late in the day with a stock that fails $1. But here's the other issue with EJH. Let me see if I can just quickly. Okay, so look at the level 2 on EJH. I know it doesn't seem like it because it's a $1 stock, but this is actually riskier percentage-wise than trading Rigetti or FFIE because that spread just opened up to like 2 or 3 cents on a 90-cent stock. There's not a lot of liquidity on this thing.
Well, it breaks $1.
Yeah, like that's not very good liquidity. Let's go to Adara.
I want to provide more context on EJH. So as mentioned earlier, I cannot find a catalyst on this stock for today. They are a Chinese ADR. Penny stock, though, in this most recent 15-minute candle, they briefly broke the $1 barrier. They did have a catalyst, though, last week. On Christmas Eve, December 24th, they launched this AI robotic automated cleaning equipment here for intelligent cleaning. So it's worth noting they are in the robotic space. Pretty bullish look. The other thing that I think is important to note here is the 8% short float. Total float here of 8.62 million shares. We haven't even traded 10 million shares on the day, so it is a little bit lower volume, and it broke out later in the day. One last thing for EJH2, it might not have a catalyst, but it has lots of social media attention, with a lot of people actually talking about it ahead of its push to the upside around 2:30. So EJH is definitely has a little bit of a retail following there. Back to you.
Oh, I gotta get some. I want to get some Rigetti shorts here. All right.
Mom spaghetti?
Yeah, a couple hundred shares, and we'll just see if something can happen. I'm just looking at it and it's like, I don't know, we just double topped again there at $18.90, maybe $19. So wow, this is so cheap. This costs under $1 for 1,000 shares.
The locates have been fantastic lately.
Yeah, so really, really cheap. Shout out to Real Trading there. So now, oops, I just got to push confirm. All right, so now we are confirmed in. So now we can throw out 100 shares. And again, if you are trading, this is Real Trading, who we trade with again, and you can request different shorts, and then they'll tell you a price of said shorts, and then you say yay or nay. And right now I'm saying nay, but no, we are in Rigetti right now. So I don't want to. We maybe give this to the high. I don't want to like lose what we've made. Obviously on this, we're not. I can't believe we even said that. We're not going to do that. I'm thinking just about 19. If we make a run at 19 again, like are we planning on doing that? What about 19.20? All right, let's short again. So we'll start the short rate here, and then I'm going to put on another piece if it comes up to 19, and then we're just going to give it. So I'm going to, how many shares do I have? Okay, all right. Let's just grab a position then. If it comes up, we'll add double the amount of shares that we have right now at $19, and then I will put in the stop order right now, the high of the day. And look, you're gonna blow it out. I don't, what it is, what it is. There's 19.26 stop order out of 100% of the position. If Rigetti goes up and tests 19, we'll get more short. We'll double our position, so our average price will be around 90s or so, which is completely fine. We'll be able to lose 30 cents on this. And again, all I kind of do is just think about it in a way of like, okay, if this were to go sour, how much am I really going to be giving back here on this kind of a trade? really going against it, right? Reverting against the trade. We just saw a nice topside move. The biggest sell candles, obviously, all afternoon. So we'll give that a shot and see if it will work out for us right now. Rigetti trying to go short. Google is working on the short, but I'm not really that worried about it. We've gotten out of Google. We talked about having half. We got another piece out right there. I might even just take another piece now and just try to focus maybe on that. Rigetti, we're bidding 189.05. There it is. We get that fill as well. So hopefully that can come down, but here we go. We are in a new position right now with our GTI into the short. We're short at 70s. Our blowout right now would be up there. So we figure we need at least probably 20 or 30 cents on this to start the bidding. So let's get something out at 18.50 and then we'll go from there. If and when it gets down to that level, I will be bidding it.
Yeah,
We'll see if it fills.
I'm still looking at that QSI. So I said I wasn't short yet in the chat, but it's got a couple of, doesn't really matter where you draw the trend line, it's going to be about the same. So in from here, but then I looked at it from the high break or the test of the prior high. This is where I should have drawn it from, as I think you've got a bit of a new trend forming. If we break this trend line underneath, then I'm playing the mean regression here on QSI. This was interesting. My screen just went off up there. That's weird. One of my screens just went black.
Yeah, oh no.
I think it's a static thing. That's what Fabian was telling me. But
yeah.
We have free locates on this. So QSI isn't even hard to borrow, which is weird because I just sort of figure like every single squeeze type name that has quantum in it, you have to pay for locates on, with this exception for a $3 stock. So if it breaks underneath, right now it'd be 375, but obviously as the day goes on, it's a trend line. It's gonna move up if this thing keeps on trending up. I need it breaking trend, and then I wanna grab this to the south side. It's past 330 all the way. Ari Page says, shout out to Static Shock. The other thing is, apparently sometimes my mic sounds bad, and that's also due to Static Shock.
There goes Google.
Or I don't know, whatever, static. Early look on the imbalances.
Static Shock.
This is a little bit interesting if you happen to be looking at Canadian banks right now. There's nothing big here with the exception of sell imbalances on TD Bank and BNS. I'll give the same warning I always do about any imbalances that you see on Canadian banks on the New York Stock Exchange. They're dual listed, and what often happens almost every single time, if it's a big sell in New York, it is a big buy in Toronto that offsets it. So you pretty much will never see us trade off an imbalance on a Canadian bank when we see it on the NYC, and nothing else is standing out early. We'll let you guys know if something pops up in here. But let's go to Adair at the desk.
We're going to take a look at the sectors as we always do around this time of day, but it's worth noting there is one of these small caps from earlier now making a downside move with a halt to the downside. Allset Inc. AEI ran this morning with no catalyst and about a 3 million share float. Now they've just announced here a $1.5 million registered direct offering. They're going to be offering 1.5 million shares at $1 per share. So AEI on watch. But let's also take a look here at our sector performances. It was quite the rocky day here for the S&P 500 and the NASDAQ. Up a bit, down a bit choppy. So we're going to take a look at some names that sharply outperformed the market, all of which had catalysts, and interestingly enough, all of which are actually in that mining, utilities, and natural resources type space. So we're going to start here with CEG, which is beautiful rounded bottom here, actually poised to make new day's highs near the close. Announcing here more than $1 billion here in contracts from the U.S. government to help power some of these federal agencies. It's worth noting this was initially reported by Bloomberg. The company confirmed it around 11 a.m. So CEG, Constellation, having a really great start to the year. Then we have KMI, Kinder Morgan, much like CEG, also trying to break day's highs. This is one of those names in the gas and resources space that is on watch. We know last week we heard some reports. We are expecting a cold front in the U.S. for the first part of January. So KMI and stocks like ONEOK are both going to be benefiting from that because they are in that gas pipeline space. Last but not least, NEM up about 3%. This is a mining-related company, and we have a lot of strength in gold right now, or at least we're expecting some strength in gold. So on this, I guess, bullish outlook for gold, due to, in part, the fact that Donald Trump will be returning to the White House, we did have some strength in some of these mining-related names. So I guess look out for strength in gold in the coming year, and make sure to like and subscribe if you're enjoying the content. Back to you guys.
Thank you very much. Get us on that way to 500,000 subscribers.
That's right.
Everybody. I pity the fool that doesn't hit the like and subscribe button.
There we go.
I should just shave bald. I'm going to go with the bald look, I think, soon.
Yeah, did you wanted to do that, right? But your daughter, was she the bald or the no bald?
Well,
there was someone...
Yeah, my daughter likes the hair
okay.
sort of short like this, but I did it during COVID and kind of like, I liked it.
Yeah.
Whatever. I grew up, Michael Jordan's the GOAT, that kind of thing, so. What's hilarious? I get a ton of, and I don't watch a lot of basketball shorts on YouTube, but the number of random shorts that I get suggested to me that are just so-and-so GOAT debate in the NBA. And I think most of the time it's because
what do they call it? The clickbait stuff.
Yeah, it's a lot of clickbait, and I'm just like, really? Are there that many people that actually think LeBron is better than Michael Jordan?
Some people do.
Yeah, I guess there are.
Longevity. It's the longevity.
I think it's incredibly impressive.
Michael Jordan was smoking stove.
The longevity. Like the guy, exactly. Michael Jordan was going out to the casinos and whatever, and
golfing
the day of the game.
Yeah,
so obviously he was probably not going to play as long at a high level as a LeBron did. And I think full credit, like the two things, the most respect I have, for basketball players outside of MJ being the GOAT, Kobe and LeBron, their longevity and work ethic, that's legendary. Now, neither one of them is better than Michael Jordan, but from just a standpoint of the dedication to the craft aspects of it, just a ton of respect. But Michael Jordan's still a GOAT. So this QSI, keep wanting to say QBI because there's all these other quantum names. Okay. It's threatening again the trend. It hasn't closed underneath, but it just keeps moving higher and higher. Once it breaks and holds under the trend line, I'm going short. We didn't have to pay for locates. I'm trying to be patient with this one. It hasn't been reverted just yet. Beantown Patriot. I am shocked that someone whose name is Beantown Patriot is going to tell me that Larry Bird is the greatest player of all time. I respectfully disagree. Beantown Patriot. Larry Bird would be in my top 10, but I would not put him number one by any stretch of the imagination. And we're apparently going to take care of some business.
All right, everybody, check out eSignal. Scan that QR code below, and you too can enjoy eSignal charting. For me, we talked about all the screeners. I often reference them on the show. Not helping with this Rigetti short right now, but definitely have a look at some of that. You want to back test. We talked about being confident, making sure that part of it is your plan. The second part of it is make sure that the data is legitimized. So there it is, right there. It is eSignal. I believe it to be the best and most reliable charting platform. I've never even seen them go down, honest to God. So right there, good trading for their trade smarter, not harder. Upgrade, infinite data, instant trading, charts that change the game, better background, back testing and scanning, and really reliable data. And the thing is, you talked about that what was it, QC? I don't even know the stock anymore. First of all, here we go.
QNC.
QNC. Rigetti is coming down a little bit here. So we actually like what we're seeing right now on RGTI, as there's the fade coming right back in. We're lucky to get a little bit out here, but here it comes back. We're only short at 1890, only because I'm waiting for that dump. I don't know if it's going to come through now. We're bidding in the 80s. I did take something out there at 19 just because I want to take a 10-cent hit, as we almost got stopped out at the top. Would have been much better to short that top. Oh, if we can get off the eSignal ad, that'd be probably good. There comes Rigetti right now. So we did take a little bit off. It just did flush, but it's not a huge volume candle. So I just want to alert to that. I don't know if that flush is going to be real or not. I'm bidding 80s right now, 50-period moving average at 80. So that's where we're bidding 84. See if we can just take a little bit out. Why talking about a little bit out? We just took out 10%. We'll take out another 10%. If we can hold for the flush, that's why we're here, to see if we can make something out of this trade. So we're willing to give this 30 cents worth of risk. We talked about where our stop is, 1925s. So if that hits, maybe our slippage, will be about 5 cents, maybe. I haven't seen it been too violent. We're just waiting out that does not halt against us. That would be the worst. So we're going to wait on this name. I don't know if it's Rigetti or Rigetti. I'm not sure what it is. But one rhymes with spaghetti, and that's what I'm going with. So right there, we're going to see what happens now with only 20 minutes left. So this is going to be an imbalanced name again. Those imbalances come out at 340. We did see it on there Tuesday, and we did see it, I believe, this morning as well. So it should be on there again. It's a very, very violent and active name. Would not surprise me if we were on the locator. Right now, down about 10 cents on this trade.
Yeah, and we're getting close. I'm trying to get this one. It's about to go. I feel like when I see Rigetti dip and Faraday, I just feel it's a matter of time before QSI. It's already starting to slow down on the tape, and there's big offers sitting up here in front of 90. You start seeing some chunk offers up at 90, or 89. It's not even at 90. Let's go the other direction is going to give it to you. Oh my goodness, remember that EJH? I'm like, looks pretty dangerous. Watch out, there's no bid. That 80 cents. 80 cents on that sucker. So yeah, probably not a good idea to go long that stock, and that's why we're talking about it. But there's the offer on QSI. So once it breaks this trend, which is going to happen almost imminently if it can't break 90, then we're going to jump short on this. Looking for the trend break, need to follow the rule. It's been steadily upward trending, and now that you're up at this top with some sellers, just one close underneath the trend line, and we're jumping short. Probably going to be the last trade for me, unless something sets up on the imbalances, which is possible, though you never want to anticipate it. You want to make sure that you see something happen. So there's the break of the trend line. I'm going to sit on the offer at 83, and if it breaks the fresh high at 90s, then we're out. Technically 89s, but I'll stop it at 90.
All right. So it looks like no matter what we do, our lines are going to matter. And you could see right here, especially with this trade, and that is it just bounced off 80, exactly the 50-period moving average. So we actually get that 84 fill, and then it just bounces right back up. So yeah, I am sort of thinking that this might be, I don't want to say game over for it, but it should have continued to go lower. Not going to reshort this name. We'll obviously take a little bit of a hit on here. We actually wound up getting out of about 25%, so we have about 75% still on this, as it looks like all that happened there was added more shorts, fuel to the fire. So now this is starting to go upside. I'm not worried about any of these shares. I'm not trading this short because of that. I'm trading it because we have the high of the day right there. And it's worked, but we got a little bit excited getting in right there. So our first trade getting in at 80s or 75s was a mistake. The 19s was great because we haven't got any trouble there. But right now it looks like it does want to go higher. I'm hoping for that same thing that Neil mentioned before. Like maybe we get that one flush coming through here one more time. And if we get it, great. He said like, oh, it dumped in there. The problem is it got stopped out there. It was a great long early. That stop out made me think that maybe the move was over, but it seems like not at all. Intel, great hold off 20, man. I mean, we eventually just said enough was enough and got out there for like a 2-penny winner at the very end, but there it goes. So, okay, good. So not good because we lost there, but no slippage basically. I think we got 27s there, 28s, so perfect. I was expecting 5 cents. We got 3 cents worth of slippage. There it goes. This is why you get out or stay in if you're still in them. There's the break of the high. Generally, we stay with momentum. Thought maybe giving some up here on what is a day before. I guess not that tomorrow's a holiday, but another light trading day most likely coming tomorrow.
I would think so.
Yeah.
Volume-wise. Yeah,
but so there it goes. It looks like they still want to hit these names. Probably $20 marker on it. The question now is, do we go long through 1950? Yeah, like people are.
What? This stock is redonkulous.
I might go. Was that Q1 going still?
They're all ridiculous. I was just trying to look up a name someone asked me about, this ITP, but yeah, sometimes I make an assumption that you guys are asking me about a NASDAQ or New York stock, and this one's over on the AMEX or the NYSE ARCA. Looks like just a penny stock that's a day 2 rebound play. So my thought on this is when you've already gone aftermarket move, follow through the second day, and you cannot break the lower high, I don't know. I'm not usually very bullish unless it gets back above these prior highs. Like 80 cents looks like a bit of a wall. Yeah, it's got the nice little double bottom on it, but on light volume when everything else is churning, this is already on the back end and can still technically put in a head and shoulders at that 80 cent level. So not really the cup of tea. 5 million shares for a 67 cent stock. 5 million shares is a good amount of volume, but not when it's a 67 cent stock. Like if this was something else, it would be a heck of a lot better. No, when I say these stocks are ridiculous, it entered twice, there goes that 90. There was a big seller on QSI. We waited for it to, let me load up in here, break the trend, and then it just broke the high. So we got in there at 83, and then we got out there at 91 as it just broke through. So all of these are continuing to fly. I shouldn't say all of them. The quantum names continue to fly, at least the two that I'm looking at, QSI and RGTI Rigetti. Got to make an assumption QBTS is still going. This one's going to be hilarious because no, this is the one that I advised my wife's in this stock.
There goes Rigetti.
And I advised her to take something out on this stock. And of course, like after she rings the register on a solid portion of it to go house money, it's going to probably test right back into the $10, $11 level. These bad boys are all running. Rigetti keeps on going higher and higher and higher. QSI is at 4, so good thing we got out of that. Tesla's still not really doing a heck of a lot. I don't know if I'm going to trade anything else. Only about 5 minutes till the imbalances come through.
Yeah, I don't know if we learned our lesson or not, or we just got a little more silly here. But we are now into Rigetti long again. So the only winner that we had, we did have a temporary winner on the short. We did talk about that. It just went into 65. We did not take 10 cents this time. That was the high. So I am sitting there now to see if we can make a difference here. And there it is. So there it goes. We take 10 cents or so on this one. Now you're starting to go again right now for RGTI as we flip it over and just have that ability, right? It's not about being stubborn. It's just like, if it's going to go, let's stay in it and see if it wants to go even more. RGTI. Maybe it doesn't, though. There could be a nice little reversal. Where's the target to get out? Look, last time we used the 50 period and it flushed us right through it. That would be $19 basically. So I don't think that that's horrible if that was something that would wind up coming through for us on there. But again, we'll take a couple more outs there, just like waiting to make something happen. I don't know if that matters or not to the stock. There's only 15 minutes left. So here comes a little bit of a pullback. I don't know. Maybe we just have a tighter stop. Maybe if it just breaks through here, 1930s back to the downside, we'll get out. I don't want to. I'm playing it because there's action on it, right? I don't think that right now at these levels, it's like the most. There we go. We're getting more out. The most uber responsible to be buying this thing up 30% at some of these highs. I mean, here is an E-signal chart for you right now.
It's an all-time high.
Speak of the devil. Is it going to be all-time highs?
I'm double checking.
I'm going to double check too because I know there might have been some.
No, it
splits.
is. It is. Unless, well, my chart.
Here's a weekly chart. Yeah, so you're right. Yeah, so there it is right there. I don't see any splits, no indications. But this thing, as my friend was telling me, we talked about that, there's 66 cents. Wow, he almost nailed that right at the bottom. But there it is. Nice move to the high side right now. $20. Yes, you are right. And we are right as well by getting back into the long here on RGTI. Oh boy, do we have a decent trade happening right now for you all on RGTI. Let's just see how high it goes. Did we get some 70s there? No, but it did get 68. So we'll see right now. Here it is. Here's 70s. All right, I'm going to take some 70s if we can. There it is. Punch some more 70s. There it is again. So nice little 20-cent winner right now on RGTI. Hopefully more upside to go now. It's Rigetti's world, and we're all just living in it.
Certainly is, man. Like the weekly chart, only because I was looking to see if it was all-time high, and then you got I guess got a glimpse of the weekly chart, which I haven't pulled up on this thing. At least, I think maybe at the start of this move, I looked at the weekly, and then as a day trader, sometimes you don't care about a weekly chart. This is absolute insanity. Absolute insanity. And what's crazy about it, and I chuckle at this, on the weekly, it's about to golden cross on the weekly. Up a bajillion %.
Bajillion, yes.
Yeah, it's just hilarious that the 50 period's about to cross it. There is a very decent chance at some point it'll have a red week, and when it does, it's just a matter of like whether it's able to hold on to. Like if it holds on to the prior all-time high, I think that's a big time go zone, like $10 to $11. If it has a bad week and holds on to that level, I think there's going to be a lot of reloaders in that price range. JCB Sports Cards. We have 2 minutes till imbalances. Opinion on adding to QSI. I'm assuming you're probably talking long term. I mean, I don't look. This one, and when I talk about this and grouping them in, they're not a quantum computing stock. They're a biotech firm that had an NVIDIA collaboration that was its recent news. But I think when I'm talking about grouping these things together, it's got quantum in the name and it's got a short float and it's running right now. So for now, I like to call it a sympathy play, but it's not factually correct to call it a quantum computing name. But it's still moving like the rest of them. Personally, I see this as it's sitting at a triple top right now on this daily chart, which is one of the reasons why I looked for the mean reversion trade. So like this is the triple top. I mean, at 350 on the first trading day of the year on a Thursday, adding at the actual triple top high seems a little reckless to me from a risk to reward standpoint, but that's just my 2 cents, man. I don't know anything about the company from a pure momentum standpoint. Like this is a level I want to see buyers above and join, as opposed to let's punch long at the end of the day and hope this triple top doesn't actually hold. You know, and you can see the resistance there. But again, the reason why I was looking short here was that resistance looking for a trend reversal. Given it's 350, I probably don't do it again though.
Yeah, we just had a, we're 1 minute till imbalances, so we don't really want to be in anything. I don't have any pending orders other than this trade, so we'll probably just sit here and watch out for it and see if we can continue to have, the day that we've been having and just trying to hold on to a little bit of our profits and watch out. So it just did flush. We got some out at 50 there, but all still higher than where we're in as now it comes back up. Okay, so there's another out for us right here as we go higher into these imbalances, man. I'm waiting at 80s here. Let's go, man. Can we push a little bit higher? All right, now we're starting to do a little bit more volume. I'm going to get out of another 5%. I'm getting out, there it is, 67s. I'm getting out of small percentages here so that we can try to hold for that bigger win. We are at 83 right now, which is the high is 73. Thought if we could blast that, maybe we get something, some actionable trades here for RGTI. My out is now 1925. That little wick gave us that. That went down to 1930. We'll see if that does come through. Here come the imbalances. So, and now let's see what happens with this name. Doesn't look like it's doing anything. 70s now to the upside. Okay. TLT NVIDIA with a buy. NVIDIA go boom, upside maybe. Yeah, nice little move there for NVIDIA. There's Open ACAD, so on and so forth. CVS, Pfizer, AMD with the other way. We talked about a possible 121 short. That's right here, right now. So if you got that, good for you. This goes up into the 70s, not doing a whole heck of a lot. I don't see RGTI. One thing that we did not trade was SMCI right there as a sell. What did it do today? Down. Okay, so not much happening right now with SMCI. Intel giving us back, and we'll take 20 tomorrow if it's there again. Amazon with a bid, 220, nice move there as well. So yeah, so far so good, I guess.
Yeah, I mean,
NVIDIA, the big one.
Outside of NVIDIA, it looks like it's nothing burgers. Although 2 million's not huge, especially if you're needing it to break. If you're needing it to break, like right now, if you try to grab the long, you're needing it to break these highs. Where look at what happened the last time was NVIDIA was at this price, 138.5. That was exactly where it reverted. So it's not a big enough imbalance that I'd want a long going into it as far as I'm concerned. So not a heck of a lot to work with on the imbalance locator. It's just it doesn't matter which one you look at, but there's QBTS, which we were just talking about. Looks like it does want to try to break. It just made another fresh high. QUBT is going.
Go show.
Rigetti is going.
Yeah,
QSI just, you got to be kidding me. Wow. Okay, so the moment I got out of QSI was when it broke 390. This went to 430. This one's now going parabolic as well. Remember, this is not a quantum computing name, but they did have a collaboration with NVIDIA, and they're up 60% anyways, as this stock decides it wants to join the party. Now breaking out and continuing to rally here. What an unbelievable, you just put yada, yada, yada quantum in your name. I'm still, there's no actual, I know they have a catalyst on this when they had the collab on NVIDIA, but that was a while back. Today, there's no news on this today as far as I'm concerned. Although I was told that in the chat, I haven't verified this, that BlackRock and Cathie Wood are in this stock.
Okay.
I mean, I think it's just a squeeze play right now because it has quantum in it for today anyways.
All right, we are, meanwhile, again, it's like these names might be moving around, but doesn't mean you're able to make any money on them, right? I mean, that's the whole thing. You got to, make sure that you try to follow as many, rules as you can, because, getting stopped out at certain spots, sometimes it can hurt. If maybe you got short there, or maybe, we mentioned, trying to short some of these tops and then getting burnt out. We were able to go long there and make some back, but the short was the wrong trade. No doubt about that. So it's a good thing that we do have some of these longs in this name today. There's the one short getting burned, and now we'll wait to see, with only 7 minutes left, maybe we do get that carry forward now on RGTI. Upside would be nicer. I'm still waiting for those 83s, then 95s, and then maybe we do break through that 20. That would be nice. Maybe we can hold this almost right into the close and see if there's some panic into this name, as we could get a flip over. We did say NVIDIA was a strong buy, so let's see what's happening right there. NVIDIA is going to close, looks like at the high of the day. So if you like NVIDIA longs, then today might be your day, and a lot of good opportunities there. As my last couple trades, though, short into that name, Tesla. So my biggest loser today is going to be Tesla because of that early trade. We were able to make some back and then gave it back a little bit, trying to short it ahead of VWAP. Not doing much all afternoon, but I still think this is a good trade in and around that 385. I wish it was there to short right there into VWAP. I think there's something there. And watch out for a break tomorrow, 375, right back in that low of the day, 373. Could get broke down there tomorrow. So watch out for that play. And then NVIDIA, Tesla. Oh, Apple was at 42 at one point. Is that still there? No. So nice little bounce off of that level.
3%.
Yeah, it was down at one point, more than 3%, almost 4%, into 342s. Looked like they did break temporarily, and then right back up into 344. So join Adair and I tonight on the recap show, and we may or may not be talking about some of these names here. As let's go, man. I'm at 83s. Do we even need to be there? Let me just put an offer there. There we go. We'll take some 79s out. Now we'll let it run. I've canceled everything else. Maybe we'll put something at like 87s. Maybe we do get a quick break higher. But there it goes. Nice trade to end the day on RGTI. Going short, paying the piper, then flipping it up to the long. There's a good out there at 80s, as we just said. So right now we only have 20% left of this long at 54s on RGTI.
Rigetti goes and QS. They're all printing right now. I just saw Jason Murphy said GameStop, but there was someone that asked me to look at Faraday again. It's not moving. It's no longer moving with the quantum names. It's just a squeeze play. Recently here, they delivered, what was it? Faraday delivered, no, it was Mullen. Mullen delivered 3 cars. Faraday had a different catalyst the other day. It was Mullen that finally had a couple of deliveries. But since it reverted, I did get out of the reversion, but it's still doing pretty much nothing. Just sideways action on Faraday, up 55%. This was one of the 2 trades that worked was this and Uber to the long side, and then not on. Thank goodness we got out of it, because that QSI is at 440. Just went another 10% to the upside on QSI. It's up like 60% now.
Let's go, Monster.
But Faraday, I'd be a little bit cautious with this. This is still a back-end trade. It made a nice break, but the follow-through, not getting through this morning resistance at 385 that we're talking about. So it needs to get back above here. You do still have a bit of a downward play, and then you're not really breaking a head and shoulders just yet on Faraday futures. That's more of a yet thing. Tyler B saying 3 cars. Tyler B says he made 3 cars as well. Well, for Mullen, it's about the small victories, right? It's a 99-cent stock for a reason. No stock has been a 99-cent stock as many times as Mullen, because that's what they do.
Yeah, Mullen, pretty bad right there.
Easiest short ever.
We'll fire off some hot dog cannons there. We get that 87 fill on RGTI as, again, trading small caps, big caps, medium caps, all of them, ice caps. What's SMR doing? Okay, nothing here. Okay, Intel, still the same distance. All right, so our best out is 87. I do have another offer at 98. Again, you get through some of this, we'll see, there it goes, bye-bye. Let's see what happens, 88, 89, that's a nice story. See a 90, that's nice too. We'll get out of that, and then we'll go higher, higher, higher. We'll see about $20, some decent size sitting there. So we'll see if it can break that in the after hours. But I'm gonna try to stay long this name. Only 3 minutes to go, man. It's a nice 40-cent winner on RGTI. I mean, just putting up those numbers day after day is RGTI, another 30% higher into the close. Tesla gonna close where it does. Microsoft, we didn't look at that at all. This used to be my #1 stock. Now 420, it looks like, in and around for Microsoft. A bad day, really. Bad price action, man. It hasn't had a green day in a minute, about a week, up to 440 and straight to the downside. What's our friend Meta doing as well? That could be in a little bit of trouble. Not as bad. There's hovering around $600. Doesn't look like Microsoft, but it does pull back in $30 on 600. Yeah, so some of these names are becoming quite interesting. With Amazon, maybe. I like Amazon the most. I've said that when we talked about some big cap names that we thought we liked the best. Amazon for me. So any kind of a pullback on this name into the 50 period, I think is great. 210. Maybe we get that tomorrow. Okay.
Well, the market was down early. I was like, I was looking for stocks that might be at levels, and I was like, Amazon's not even as close as I would have thought, that 50 period moving average. Because Microsoft is chilling and Meta was chilling at it, I kind of figured maybe you'd get Amazon at that price today. I stunk bid it.
Yep.
Stank bid it.
Stunk bid, yeah.
I don't know. But obviously it didn't get filled. What's the proper...
Stink bid.
To put in a stink bid...
There's 98.
Oh
my God.
I stunk bid it. I do like it. I'm on the bid of that one as of today as well. 1 minute, 2 minutes to go. There was nothing big on the imbalances to flip, but NVIDIA had already paired off a little bit, and we had talked about NVIDIA not busting out through that high. So that buy and balance on NVIDIA, it couldn't break the high anyways, and then it paired off as expected. So kind of a nothing burger at the close if you're looking at those imbalances on NVIDIA. That QSI just made a big right turn. If you're watching that name, got to 440 and a little bit of a sell-off going into the end of the day. Faraday not really doing a heck of a lot.
Yeah, I mean, I have to get out. We got it. I mean, it is another one.
Another one.
There it goes, man. We're getting some out now. 94, 96s, 97s. We only have a minute left to play in the period right now for RGTI and there it is, 97s. Yes, sir. Good one there, man. It is game over right now. Thank you for all of that. But there it goes. I would go longer breaking through $20. I'm just running out of time. I got to get over to the desk. I think that's a great trade, breaking through $20. I'm not even going to get out of this. So I'm going to put an offer here, and We'll let the back office deal with it. But there it goes, a nice little move upside here through $20. I think we can get it. I'm offering $20.22 right now on this name. So we'll see if we can get something in the after hours on RGTI. So yeah, so far so good, man. And I hope everyone enjoys the rest of their night.
Absolutely, and let's get on to it. Get the camera off of us and get it to the first closing bell of 2025. There it is, Adara, and let's ring it in 5, 4, 3, 2, and you know what to do. And you can now say the first trading day of the year is in the books. Look, the NASDAQ, not good, 0.2 to the downside, 0.3 to the downside on the ES. So that thing that Michael Noss talked about, where like if you get 5 straight red days in a row on the S&P to start the year, and then January is also red, it's not good. But it's a very small downward day. It's not really a needle mover, but I think a big story is note the strength. NVIDIA is going to close up 3 points today. So 3% up when the market is down, I'd say that's a good sign. Obviously, Tesla took it on the chin here today, down 6% after their deliveries. Were a huge disappointment from Tesla this morning. Can't get off the schneid. That was a big reason the market was dragging into the downside is, hey, that's Adara. Hi, Adara. All good. But everybody, it's going to be just like normal. I think we got a big year of volatility and opportunities coming in the trading markets, especially with these quantum names unabated to the upside. Big shout out to Fabian and Ramin on the 1s and 2s and Andre with the social media content. I got to thank our team there. Got to give a big shout out to the Bash Brothers kicking it in the midday as usual. The small caps and lesson of the day. And of course, the Playmaker trade. And a big shout out to Brennan back from holiday, welcoming him back on the desk. But hey, you want to sit back, relax, because the market recap starts about now. We got the Katina man, we got Adara at the desk. Go get him.
What's up, everybody? How you doing, Adara?
I'm great. How are you?
Not too bad. Oh, no, I have you in my ear. I got to take it out. We don't have too many earnings, I don't think, today.
We have some like little tiny companies. One of them is releasing at 4:20. I don't even think the other one has a time of release. Yeah, so Resources Connection and Lifecore Biomedical. They're both expecting losses here on... Yeah, so one of them is going to be 136 million revenue expected. The other one, 29 million expected revenue. If anyone does want us to go over these earnings, just message me in the chat, and I'll do my best to cover them for you.
Yeah, we'll figure it out. S&P 500 today down 0.22. Thank you, everybody, for joining us on the first trading day of the new year. Happy New Year. To everybody. How you doing? But yeah, me and Adara will take you through what should be a little bit of a light day. We'll talk about some of the names that were moving around today and potentially why. We did see some big movement in some of these smaller cap nuclear names, quantum names at the end of the day, and then that name QSI as well moving. We're going to talk all about that. Uranium up 5% today. That was a good one. S&P 500. We can sort of come over here. Here's the SPY right now, down just slightly today, down 0.17. As you can see, the NASDAQ, same kind of a situation, just trying just trying to get flat on the day right now. We said that there was a possible run at the end of the day into Flatsville, and that's kind of what we did right now. I'm going to put this into a 1-minute chart just to see that run right there at the end, almost breaking higher, Adara getting into green. You see we did bounce off of that level earlier. Nice run at the end of the day, bringing the NASDAQ only down 0.1. The Dow, though, the diamonds, they took a little bit on the chin. Again, healthcare, some of the bigger names, just a little bit more of a worry there. I do like the Dow. I like the fact that they've now put in NVIDIA into that space. So I like the diamonds. It's one that I've been dip buying as well, but now it's below. I remember I got some at 426, my first ever buy on the diamonds in the Dow Jones. Again, now below Fed level, DIA pulling back in again, right into there. I don't know. I like it all the way down to the 200 period, starting to build some ETF exposure into the broader markets as well. And then Berkshire is also a name that I'm looking to do. It looks very, very similar. I mean, both of those, pick and choose yourself. VIX today up to 18, giving it a 3.7% move higher. Surprising on the day, though, Adara, Tesla. Tesla came out. We talked about that. I don't know if you have that story if we want to go over it.
Yeah,
but
sure.
Tesla earlier today brings out the deliveries, 450,000. And Darryl, get the exact number. Expected around 490 to 500. The market does not like that. Look, when you're a company that sells things and then you sell less of those things, insert company name here. And today that company was Tesla. They sold less vehicles and delivered less vehicles than expected. I guess we should say deliveries rather than sales. So nice move down. And then Sharif and Randy had some talks back and forth about this, and they sort of mentioned that maybe people waiting for the Model Y to come through, the new Model Y, they're called Juniper, something like that. But yeah, what were those numbers on Tesla again to refresh our memory?
So here's the thing. So deliveries for Q4, 495,570 were the numbers. Production here, 459,445. So this is what the biggest thing, though, like I said, it's not that they missed on deliveries, it's that the deliveries dropped on a year-over-year basis.
Right.
That has seemed to be the bigger issue people have. Actually, this graphic here, you can check this out on Trader TV Research. I do make these graphics. We're making pretty much a couple a day. There's pretty steady production. But as you can see here, there's a really beautiful growth in these Tesla deliveries. It basically gave us a 10-year period. Then this year, we actually slide below that 1.8 million level down to 1.78 million. So that's, from what I'm reading, that was really the issue people had. Though, as Sean alluded to there, and Sharif and Randy were talking about, there are some analysts, including Baird, that actually think, in some ways, we're probably going to see less deliveries, even maybe for the next quarter, for Q1 25. But that's not necessarily a bearish sign. It just means that people are waiting for the new model. Whether or not that is copium or whether or not that's actually a valid concern is completely up to you, because I've seen both. But there are some analysts who are still bullish, in spite of and actually because of these numbers.
All right, so great little look there. For me, just if we're going to be talking about Tesla, and thanks, Adair, for describing all of that. I mean, I think that they're much more than just a car company at this point. I think you're going to try to play Tesla. And first of all, before I go on this little rant, let's get some more likes here. We got to get to 1,000 likes, right? Over 3,800 of you still watching. Thank you so much for that as we review the market. Let's get this up to 1,000. I mean, Adara's been working all day here, and I want to thank Adara for the watch list.
Thank you.
And for talking about all that, and for those new graphics. Hit the like button for the Trader TV Research page. Go make sure you do find that on X. It's a big one. Adara's doing the work there. Thank you for all of that, and we'll get those likes going. That is for sure. I wanted to say, if you're going to look at Tesla, I think right now, robotics, I mean, that's going to be all the talk. Also, don't sleep on like all the computing talk right now. I mean, we are talking about Tesla. This guy sort of daisy chained up, I guess it was 100,000 GPUs or something like that to run Grok. We still got Grok. We still got AI. I think Tesla's there with the maps, all the data that they have on the cars and everything like that. I am long Tesla. I think we all are at some extent, especially if you're in the NASDAQ names. You've probably bought Tesla. If you're shorted, congratulations. It's been a real rough 6 months or so, but now starting to pay back. I mean, it's now 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, almost 6 straight red days, Adara, for Tesla, right back into that downside. And now what I was going to say, 350, definitely a line in the sand. I think that's the 50-period moving average. I would watch out for that. If you're going to drop an anchor here on Tesla, you could go from its most recent lows, which is be back in here in December. Sorry, that's the October low that we're talking about. And right there, lines up absolutely perfectly. It must be 50 periods. But there it is right there, the anchored view up right at that level. So interesting low there down near that 200 mark, Adara. That's that low that we're talking about from October, right back in the anchored view up, giving us some possibilities there on Tesla. Some noted stocks that you had mentioned earlier today. Let's go over these. Okay, so the story of the day for me was RGTI. We absolutely nailed this. This is a sticky note name. Where's my sticky note thing? There it is right there. We did have this one listed earlier on the note. So if we're going to go over to Rigetti, oh, there's Tesla. Yikes, we'll talk about that in a minute. RGTI, here it comes. We've logged into here just to show you. We did have this on our mind. We liked it down a little bit lower than this. In what we wrote down was this level, down into $15 on that note. But as we noted, it opened up pretty good on this name there today, falls into 15. We don't have that bid down there on RGTI. But what happened was we let it go back up to the upside. Then around 10:30, it falls into VWAP. We really, really like that trade. We do want to give a big shout out to Brian Shannon, who does mention when there's a gap, play to VWAP. So we're trading all of these sort of explosive names as if they're earnings plays, Adara. And what I mean by that is wait for a pullback into the name, or if it's already gapped higher, wait to maybe to revert something. On some of these names, I learned my lesson. Shorting this name at the end of the day did not work out for us. Getting out there, trying to short, take the hit, go long, boom it to the upside right now. I think I may still be in a very, very small piece of this because I don't see that I got out. Wow, it does go to 2020. I was sitting there at 2020 to get, oh, there it is. So we do get out, 1950. So there's the stop, breaks there, bang, for RGTI. Stops even work in the aftermarket. So there you go. Be responsible and don't come to the desk and have orders out. But there it is right there. Our last... That's hilarious because we were at 2020 right there, but we only had 5% left. So there's that last piece. Okay. Nice long into the close, breaks through 20. I really like the stock. Make sure you're trading this tomorrow. Adara, I have the day off.
Oh, nice.
Tomorrow. So it'll be Obi and Neil there. I actually realized that I was carrying forward half a day. And we're not really allowed to carry forward days. Nor do I just realize something. And here in the lovely country of Canada, which we are not going to become the 51st state.
Maybe our own country.
Maybe Winnipeg.
I've always joked Winnipeg should be called the 51st state because we have a lot of American practices. We have a lot of American fast food chains. We have a lot of American restaurants. And I've always felt we would be really comfortable as a state. So, I mean, if Trump wants to take anything, just take Winnipeg and leave the rest.
No. Leave Winnipeg alone. Okay, no, I was going to get to the fact that here in Canada, the thing is about the exchange rate. It's just so expensive right now. So I actually forget what I was even referencing there, but we'll keep going on that. So RGTI, nice move to the upside, and we could still watch the US dollar. US dollar strength. The DXY continues to blast higher. We got some notes there from Kyle Burdett earlier about that as well. I did want to check in to see how many likes we have. There it is, 955. Thanks for the instant 100 likes right there. We like that. Keep on going, keep on going. I was wondering about selling some Ford, man. Ford, what? Oh, no. Ford has now broken below $10. Oh, no. Alert, alert, alert. Look at this, man. Wow, Ford. I mean, I cannot ask Randy about this because we will not be buying Ford then if I do ask him because he does not like this name, but what a destructed stock this has been. Now trying to break below this low. That goes back to November of 2023. Way low now on Ford. Taking out summer lows is next, man. That's $9.50. Watch out for a downside there in Ford. Good one, man. What is GM's story? I've recently been getting out of it. Good. So I got out of some GM in and around $60, believe it or not. We talked about that on the show. I think my most recent out was in and around 54, which makes sense again as well. Ford starting to push down. I don't know if it's a Rivian kind of world or not. I'm not sure where we are in the EV space, but right now, RIVN. Rivian seems to be the one with the base in and around $10, $11. Rivian could be something to look at. But yeah, Ford, a little bit, almost did like a throw up emoji. I want to thank everybody again as well. 490,000 viewers. Wow. I want to thank everybody for that one. Subscribers. There it is right there. 490 coming into play today. 969. We're getting close, man. We got to get 1,000 likes or it was cut the stream. We don't have any guests today, so it'll be Adara and I. If there's any questions for anybody, for us, for sure, for you, forget about for me. Don't ask me anything. Ask Adara. How was New Year's?
New Year's was good. It was chill. Yeah, I went out a little bit for New Year's Eve, and then for my birthday, went out a little bit as well. So
woohoo! Happy birthday, Adara.
Yeah, like kind of two separate things. It was really cool. I had a good time. I drank some matcha. I had some,
Oh, I did the secret. Okay, so you told me that you can add matcha for free, right?
Yes, you can if you're already getting a matcha drink.
So I did that.
Yes.
But I think it comes with. What is it, 2 scoops? I don't know what the grande comes with. But I only added one. Okay, so I only added one more.
Okay.
So I was going to ask you.
I had 2 more.
Oh, you had 2 more.
Always add 2 more. Because sometimes too, and the thing is, this also works better if you mobile order, because sometimes when you say add 2 more, they think you mean that you only want 2 or you want 2 less. So it's like, it's always easier if they have the physical description, which is why I like mobile ordering. Sorry, Brian Nickel, I know you want to cut down on that, but I actually think that's a really bad idea. So anyways, yeah, I mean, did you like adding the matcha though? How did it taste?
I didn't really notice a difference.
Oh.
But yeah, sort of throw. No, but it's a good idea. I thought maybe it was a little more matcha-y. I like it extra hot. is my thing. Hold on a second. On a guest trader. Okay, quickly there. Okay, that's Rivian. All right, I just want to talk about gold today as well. Finally starting to go to the upside. New year, maybe new rally in GLD as we continue to look a little bit upside there in gold, maybe taking out the 50 period moving averages. GLD tries to go back there up to the upside. If it can go, great. We'll have a look here, trying to break through 247 or so on GLD. I like the space. We talked about Bitcoin trying to get going a little bit here today as well. IBIT with a potentially a nice move upside as well right now. I just saw there in the chat, Chef Joe, I'm willing to step out of the comfort zone, not vet at all. Me and Chef Joe have gone back and forth there on X. If you're serious, Chef Joe, I will give you the link. You join us right now if you do want to come on. I want to hear maybe your opinion on Tesla and the best steak around there. Chef Joe, you let me know in the chat, and Bears vs. Bulls, we'll get that to you immediately on X. I'll send you that chat if you do want to come in, okay? All right, so that's that. Quickly, IBIT today up 4%. So here we go again. Possible move to the upside in crypto. We talked about that again, Adara, earlier on today with that move in Bitcoin. I actually don't have a Bitcoin chart right now on this computer, but we do have IBIT up here, taking out that 55. Bitcoin hovering around 97.5, 97.7. I am going to get the chart in just a couple of seconds. So that was something there. The worst exchange or the worst ETF today, China. The thing about that is we did get those delivery numbers from Tesla, not great. That's not going to help China either, right? But at the end of the day, FXI, we've talked about a stock like NIO, some of those other EV spaces right there, heavily weighted in FXI, so there is some downside plays there. NIO today actually up 5%. We actually like that level down there at 425. NIO could breathe some life into that. PDD, Alibaba, it's these kind of names right now that are in a little bit of jeopardy because we worry about the tariffs. And the thing is if Alibaba and some of the sales needs to be dealt with, we'll have to watch out. Alibaba in and around 87. $84. Okay, trying to hold out. I actually like this little level there on Alibaba. Yeah. Did Chef Joe reach out yet? There he is now. Oh, he's driving. Got to pull over. Okay, we'll do it another day. Yeah. Mr. Joe, and we'll do that. But I saw him put it in the chat.
No, it's pretty cool. Yeah, I mean, it sounds like this might still be happening. He and Bears vs. Bulls are still coordinating. Okay. But I want to say a couple of things. So first on that China note that you had just mentioned, I think it's really interesting because these EVs, as Neil said, there wasn't much of a trade there. They all beat earnings that were maybe not beat expectations, but they all had really nice numbers. Even Zeekr was up like 100% year over year for their yearly deliveries. So great look for some of these names. But you're right, there's a lot of, especially in the China space, there is going to be a lot of risk. We know China is now basically heightened their export rules, and that's why Boeing was down today. But the other thing I wanted to look at was, I believe it was Pankaj in the chat, asking what my thoughts are on Netflix. So I'm going to pull up the Netflix daily chart because I was looking at this one recently, and I have thoughts. Okay. I'd like to share them. Netflix is something I've day traded because you guys know I like the spread of your names, and Netflix 1,000% a spread of your name. Also, thank you guys for the birthday wishes in the chat. They're very appreciated. So here's my thing with Netflix. This is a triple top on the daily chart. At that 942.50, and this is almost exact case. So they're kind of a triple top, but if you're looking at the specific 942.50 level, that is a double top. Now we're also, as of today, pushing below that previous support of 889 halves. The next support level potentially here is going to be around that 864 level, but that double top is a little bit concerning to me. It kind of reminds me of another spready name that I like day trading, Eli Lilly, which also is a pretty harsh double top around the high 900s area. So I'd be aware of that double top. But yeah, I mean, other than that, I think there are some potential support areas. And I will say, like, the amount that we've climbed in the last couple months is super impressive. I remember trading the new all-time high of this in its October earnings above 760. And here we are, like, now we're at 900. So just be very cautious, I guess, of these levels and be aware of the fact that we have that double top and it looks like 5 straight days of selling. But there are certainly levels to keep an eye out for NFLX.
I do like that. Have you been watching anything lately on Netflix?
Oh, I've been watching, I think I told you this, the American, so Ryan Murphy has like all his weird crime shows, and one of them is just on Netflix. It's the Monsters one, the Menendez one. I've been watching some of that.
Yes.
Javier Bardem is like really randomly in it for some reason. He's good, He's always good. I've been watching some of that. Yeah, I mean, not too much. I'm more of I like watching old Law and Order. That's like basically my favorite thing. But what about you? What do you watch?
Oh, we just started.
Squid Game.
Yeah,
right?
We started the new season there on Squid Game. Yeah. I'm trying to think what else has been, the Menendez thing, my wife's on that.
Oh, yeah.
I really like it because you know what, they also got WWE, so TKO, that stock, they just got Raw and SmackDown and all that starting in January. These shows like Raw and SmackDown, I've been watching WWE since I was a kid. Like Raw continues every single week to be like one of the highest rated weekly shows on cable television, now going into streaming. So I think that's going to be an absolute monster there for Netflix moving forward. I mean, the fact that they've wrapped that up, I know they paid for it, but hey, it's really just everybody else that's paying for it with their subscriptions, right? And so if they can do that on the ad tier, I really think it works. Here's TKO right now. This is WWE, so we can watch out for that, I believe, also all wrapped into one. So a big conglomerate right now as Vince McMahon gets the heck out of there, makes his billions and turns it over to TKO. So in Hunter Hearst Helmsley right now running the show over there, married to his daughter, Stephanie McMahon. Okay, so the other two hot names today. TAN, we saw that again. Some of the poorer sectors that have been getting hit recently, decent upside moves today. We talked about the consumer staple space. We've talked about uranium, TAN, some of these names that haven't been doing that great. Of course, TAN is the solar ETF. As we work on, it's funny because the Tesla, the Cybertruck was qualified now for the 7,500.
Yeah.
So that's another discount there, helping out some of the space. We'll see if like Enphase and names like that, ENPH, why didn't that load? ENPH. We are waiting. Chef Joe, he has the link if he's able to come on, but do not do it while you're driving, unless you got that full self-drive. Are you allowed to do that? Sharif tried to do videotape.
It catches you. From what I've heard, it knows. It will be like, you can't do that, because the thing is, Tesla will obviously, if there's a story where someone gets into an accident because they're not washing, that looks bad on Tesla. So Tesla will apparently stop you, and it'll be like, you can't do that.
Yeah, I agree with it anyways.
Yeah, it's a very
that should be a play that they play on there. Okay, so we talked about Rigetti a little bit. We talked about that play. Another name that was moving around today, QSI. Let's just have a quick look to see if there's anything going on in the after hours right now. So a little bit of a dip down. QSI up that 50% today. Nice move there on the 5-minute chart. Not doing too much here after hours. Faraday futures, I saw Neil in this one a little bit there. I think he did well. I think he went long maybe into that break. It must have, because it closed near the end of the day. Highs up 51% on FFIE. The thing about this one is the chart's going to look bad because it's been split. So we're going to have to zoom in a little bit more just to get a better look on what Faraday's been doing. Again, completely dead stock. Whenever you see that and you have to zoom in like this, it's not really at $3. This thing's split a couple times. I don't know why it doesn't show it on this chart, but right down there, 89 cents low right now. I would say, if you get anything into $5 where we've been at before, probably a decent fade spot there for Faraday. And then what is up with this stock? NITO today, N2 off. Nice move upside. You can see what the short float on this name is by simply clicking over here, and then this should load up and give me that short float right now. Oh, only 1%. That's probably not right. A low float name coming into play today there. N2 off. Solar. Okay, solar project there in Germany with that key approval, it says. So nice little move. I always, when we're looking at these kind of stocks, I always say you do want to zoom out just a little bit more, up into $1. It looks like that high $1.43 coming into play at some point there for NITO, a good name there as well. We did get a nice move today in Uber. JMP Securities, nice upgrade. Finally trying to catch a little bit.
They actually downgraded it.
Oh, it was a downgrade?
It was a downgrade. The thing I think that pushed it up was CNBC final trades. They gave it the nod. And also Goldman Sachs added it to the conviction list.
Perfect.
So that, I put it in there because I thought it was interesting that JMP downgraded them, and then also they got, it was a weird day for them.
Yeah. No, I saw the analyst action there on JMP. Thought it was an upgrade, but JMP v. Goldman Sachs conviction list. I'll take the conviction list.
Oh, it's also Goldman Sachs over JMP.
Yeah. Goldman Sachs. I bought some Goldman. I still own some Goldman Sachs. I like the stock. But here's Uber right now. Again, coming into some key levels, $60. Looks like it wants to hold. Nice day today for Uber. Finally getting to the upside. So we like that stock. Hopefully we're able to hold it. I would say if you are nervous about it, and there it is. We do cross the 1,000 like mark. So, all right, 422. Hey, Chef Joe, if you're having any problems, which I guess maybe he is, or driving around, we'll get you on another day if that's not going to happen there today. So we're all good with that. Bears vs. Bulls has sent you the link if you're still watching. So I know that he's talking to you if that can come through. All right, just reviewing some of the notes that we had there today. That was that. Other big movers, Boeing. Oh, no. Neil talked about buying some Boeing lately, but a decent recovery. It did get low. It hits that 200 period into 169 before recovering in and around 172 where we are right now. Boeing today dropped on an increased China export restrictions. So again, Boeing, if there's going to be restrictions, obviously they're like the only plane maker in town. If China's going to stop buying them, or there's going to be maybe a tariff on any of these planes, things like that, that's definitely going to help out Boeing to the downside, not help them out. Downside there with some of that U.S. government, obviously really big. They're going to step up. I think if you're going to make plays on anything China related, wait until Trump actually gets in, which is going to be the 20th, and then gets the cabinet in there, gets everybody all set out, and then we'll figure it out. Cabinet might be a Canadian word. Gets everybody all lined up and gets the policies in place, then start to make some plays on China. Just like XLE and some of these energy names, I just don't know what's going to happen. He's already said if we don't see some resolution to, and I haven't heard anything really, and maybe it's knock on wood here, and we did have some unfortunate events over the weekend in the United States as well, but hopefully Israel and all that kind of stuff can just quiet down a little bit. Seems like maybe it's getting there, but I don't want to talk out of turn. I'm just talking about it doesn't seem to be hitting my feed as much anymore. Yeah. Trump's talked about ending all of that as well. So maybe there could be some plays here in domestic markets, the outgoing. So we'll have to wait to see that. All right, so far so good there. Gold energy, there's energy trade upside as well, as we talked about some of that relief coming through on XLE. One stock that's been really hit, we did have Raider Trader. He'll be on tomorrow with Neil and you tomorrow. Yeah. Raider shall be on. I want you guys, well, he'll probably talk about the TLT. He's been sort of looking at some of these treasury names at that bottom, looking at the 10-year. So you want to talk about some currencies, some more broader scale names with Raider Trader tomorrow. He'll probably be looking at the TLT. So that coming into play today. One of the best sectors, and we could log in to this, and maybe we will. We'll log into Twitter, but XLF was a great sector name this year as well. Look at XLF really taking off. I believe it was in the 23 or 24% range. I'm going to get that in just a second. But there's XLF having a nice year. Now underneath the 50 period. If you are a little short on the financials, maybe here some plays for you. I like JP Morgan, as that's been hovering above the 50 period, hasn't given that up, as well as Goldman Sachs as well, both at the 50 period moving average. Bank of America, Citigroup below right now, Bank of America, Citigroup above. This might be the strongest name in the space, Wells Fargo as well hovering. So they're all in and around here. If you don't want to pick stocks, buy the ETF XLF. What's up, Adara?
Oh, no, I was just looking at, I think the XLF is a really good look. I was also, too, someone was asking here about, so Elon, I'm going to get back to you on that Boeing defense story with regards to the sanctions on planes. All I know is it's impacting, the way I read it is basically people are just pressed about the fact that it's impacting the company at all, because Boeing's obviously had enough trouble. So for me, regardless of what, and again, I want to look more into this, but regardless of what sector of Boeing it is, Boeing is still impacted, so it's being viewed as a little bit bearish. Although that bounce at the 170 level is fantastic, I will say that. But also, I want to look at Lyft here for Pankaj asking about this one here. What are my thoughts? There was a catalyst on this one. I put that in the chat. I mentioned it early today as well. Basically, and I want to clarify, this is pure speculation. There is some speculation here, predictions from the information that Lyft would be a pretty good takeover candidate for an acquisition by Amazon. Now, this was initially being thrown around on social media like this was a report. It's not a report. It is purely a prediction. So Lyft and Amazon, there's zero evidence this is actually going to happen. But it's a great catalyst for Lyft intraday nonetheless. And we have some nice support here around that 1230 level. Now we're holding support slightly higher at 13s, but worth noting we're definitely having some lower highs in LYFT. I think if we're able to reclaim that 1405 level on a closing basis, which as you can see, that's been previous resistance, I think that would be a great look. So thanks again, guys, for the birthday wishes. But yeah, Elon, I'm going to look into the Boeing story right now. I think, though, regardless of what sector, the fact that it's impacting the company, probably not a great look for a company that is already so beaten down and was one of the worst performing names, at least for quite a while, on the year.
I did want to thanks, Adara, for that and for looking after everybody there in the chat. Yeah, there it is. Sebastian saying, Adara's kicking it. Yeah, she is, man. So much improvement, obviously, every single day. How long have you been here? A year and a half, 2 years? You always surprise me at this number.
About 16 months.
16 months. Okay, so it's pretty close to the year and a half there. All right, yeah, thanks, Sebastian. Thanks for everybody as well.
Thank you.
Only 3 more minutes left, man. Make sure if you do have any questions, well, it's probably too late for that. All right, into my Twitter now on X. All right, here's the sector recap here. This is what I'm talking about. Comm services. There it is, man, the big one. The S&P 500 on the year up 23%. So that's a little tidbit there. It's the first time, I think, since 1998 that we had back-to-back 20% years in the S&P 500. I think it's happened 4 times in the history of the stock market. So welcome to history making opportunities. Adara, do we go 20% again? Do we make it 3 times? 3 straight years.
I wonder though, if we go up 3 straight years, would there be a heavy pullback? I don't know. We're going to have to wait and see what happens here with Donald Trump. I'm sure January 20th will be a pretty informative date. We'll have to see how the market reacts to that. We'll have to see how crypto reacts to that. I was reading some crypto analyst or crypto speculator talking, and they basically said January 20th, tomorrow, January 3rd, and April 30th are likely to be some of the biggest days for crypto this year because there's all going to be some political implications.
What's the 3rd? What's going on the 3rd?
Tomorrow it's going to be the Congress meeting, and this is like one of the most pro-crypto congresses we've ever had because there was a lot of lobbying from the crypto space. So either way, like regardless of the political implications, I think it'll be really interesting to see how crypto reacts.
Good call. Good little hit there. Thanks, Dara. Okay, just real quickly here, I did want to go over XLC because it's really funny. Like, you know, these are names that we don't talk about enough. Here it is right here, XLC. So maybe we can bump that out and just give you guys a little bit of a show here on what is in that sector and what is in that index. Here it is. I'm going to bring it over. Maybe I can show it to you. Right there? Yeah, there it is. Okay, so here we go. Lumen, this is just today, right there. Lumen, Charter, Verizon, Fox, you know, Disney up in there, T-Mobile, EA Sports, right? Here's the communications, the XLC, the index that rocked your world in 2024 are all like random names. Now, sure, it has some Google, it has some other names in there for sure, but just giving you guys a quick little look. There's AT&T, good run up on AT&T this year. Get back in XLC, get back in there. Look at AT&T again, like part of this move, right? Again, AT&T $16 up to $22. There's been some hidden gems here in the communication spot, so do not sleep on some of the randomer names that we've seen in there. Here's ETF. Watch this again. URA 10, GDX. We forgot about the gold miners ETF today. Nice little bump up there as well. It's about that time. Let's get ready to rock and roll with roll call. We're now done, man. That's it. It's a wrap on the first recap show of the year with Adara and myself. Neil will be here tomorrow. I want to thank everybody for joining us. Still 3,000 or so there. We got over the 1,000 likes. Adara, absolutely great job there today. Thanks for all that news. There was some key hits during the day there, especially early with those Tesla deliveries. I know that was on the desk with Sharif and Brendan, but good updates as that goes. And then some of those smaller plays. We had some news on BlackBerry a little bit today, some more quantum plays. Any story that sort of stood out to you? Maybe it was Tesla. Maybe
actually CEG, because CEG, I was saying this to Rivian Millionaire in the chat as well. We know CEG has already been backed. I'll pull up the 15-minute chart because it was wild. They closed basically at highs. CEG here, they got that huge like 20-something% pump back in late September when Microsoft announced they're going to be choosing them for their 1 Mile Island investment for nuclear. So CEG is part of Microsoft's nuclear play. Today, first it was reported by Bloomberg, then CEG confirmed that they're going to be getting some investments here from the government, over $1 billion in grants. So CEG seems to be the gift that keeps on giving. I'm going to be looking for continuation tomorrow. I'll tell you that for free.
All right, Chef Joe, here it is. Let's start the roll call right there. I see Chef Joe is all over. We'll get you next time, my guy. Hopefully we'll be able to get that all figured out. Next time I'm doing this, we'll do it maybe next week. I'm not here tomorrow. Okay, here we go. Thank you so much to everybody. Chef Joe, thank you so much. There he is right there. Thank you. Sprendy is here as well. KNT, Pro Day Trader K is here. Eric is here. Bob S is here. Never, always, ever. Never, always, ever. Never, always, ever. Okay, probably something there. Bears versus Bulls, what's up again? Daniel, Escape Planet, Pro Day Trader Carey, Elon is there as well. Felks 1, Adara, maybe Celery 2 is there for you. Juan Padilla, anybody else?
Yeah, sure, there's Ozan,
Ozan, the cow, Mr. Cowman.
Yeah, the cow thing. Mike Breeze, Brandon Townsend, Mile High Momo, Frank Hanley, Robert Leo, Silverado Blue, Brian Blackwater, Chef Joe, shout out to you, Trevor Lumen, Joseph Brem, Bears versus Bulls, thank you for everything you do, Damian Tarza, Dollar Bill, Richard Cabeza. Hold my beer. Stop there.
Hold my beer. All right. Thank you, everybody. Again, hope you guys are all having a great day. What an interesting day today. We had some big runners in NVIDIA. We had some big runners in Tesla. Obviously, all these names. Stay on that RGTI tomorrow. You got to make sure that you're looking at that as well as some of the other ones. QSI, NITO was a big one. We reviewed some of that. Faraday Futures there, FFIE, some Unity. We didn't even go over that again there as Roaring Kitty sprinkles some Unity on the market. All right. What's your favorite vegetable? It's not a potato, but if it was, then you can make some French fries. All right, thank you, everybody, from Adara. This is Sean and Ramin. Thank you so much for joining us today. Make sure you join us tomorrow at 8:30. It's Trader TV Live. Ciao, everybody.
Thank you.